Welcome back, everybody, to the channel. I'm Nadia, host of Horror with Nads, and today is our Upside Down rewatch, where we have been discussing Stranger Things for the last couple of months leading up to Season 5. Today, we're going to be discussing Season 4, Chapter 7, The Massacre at Hawkins Lab, and this is definitely a banger of an episode. But before I bring on my panel, please do me a favor. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share out the stream to your fellow Stranger Things fan. With that being said, let's bring everybody out. And we have a new panelist, Frostfang. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. How's everybody doing? Happy Friday, everybody.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
Saturday in my case.
Oh, it's Saturday.
Toonie, I cannot wait till we get to Season 5 because I cannot wait till we're all new to it, all fresh eyes on it.
Oh, yes.
Versus...
We're almost there. 2 episodes left after this.
I'm real excited.
I am too. And our Deadpool and our tier stream. But one thing I wanted to show off was last weekend I went to a horror convention and I actually got to meet number 10. So I got a signed little thing by him.
That's awesome.
It's so weird. The kid's like 6 foot tall, 6-something foot tall now with long hair. not this kid anymore, but yeah.
How did you recognize him?
He was there. He had, by the way, he had like a bunch of Stranger Things merch. His dad was there with a Stranger Things t-shirt and stuff. It was just announced that he was going to be there, but I thought that was really cool. And maybe potentially we might see him on the show in the future. We'll see. I got to do some negotiating. Why not? Come on.
I was going to say the thing that I was thinking of during that intro was that we're actually almost past all the scenes that are shown in your intro. We're almost there. There's only a few episodes left, and then with all the clips of Stranger Things that Nadia shows in her intro, we're almost all caught up for Season 5. There's no more teasers left, so to speak.
It's completely crazy how close we are to Season 5, and it's I've seen a lot of negative posts about it on Twitter. I've seen positive, but I've seen a lot of people saying like somebody called it a garbage show. I'm like, it's one of Netflix's #1 shows watched on the platform. Yes,
garbage show.
3 is a little rough. Yeah, somebody said instead of, I forgot what it was, something to the remarks of comparing it to another show that didn't get a second season. I'm like, this is well done TV storytelling. And some people complain because we did get officially that times for this is going to be over an hour and a half to 2 hours for each episode.
You know what's an overrated show on Netflix? House of Cards. Because no one is like show.
My brother would yell. Yeah, he really, really, really wanted me to watch House of Cards, and I was just like, oh, yeah, it's so overrated. I was just like, okay,
it's just no one's relatable, and I can't even remember the main character, but Kevin Spacey, which in hindsight, it's not a good dude to begin with, but it's just. His character is just so Machiavellian, and I'm just like, there's no one to root for. And every time they bring someone in, they kill them. I'm like, well, gee, why do I have to watch this?
Yeah.
Toxic, I think we got a little bit of feedback for if you got the show on the back.
Oh, hang on.
Yeah, I don't know anything about House of Cards, so I'm just silent for this.
How's that?
Well,
that's better. It was a clever idea for the first season, even the second season, but then the whole Kevin Spacey kind of issues came out, and then they switched it over to his wife in the show, and it just didn't work out.
yeah.
I think it wasn't until the last season they did that, but I don't know.
I think
the weird thing is that the slip. The weird thing about that show is the slip happened when 2016 happened. Everyone just in the reviewing the show just said, "Oh my god, this is just too real now." And I'm just like, what did you think of what was happening before? I wonder.
Yeah.
Yeah. It kind of reminds me of how Marvel can't decide who its new Thanos villain is. It was going to be Jonathan Majors as Kang, and then all that stuff about his charges came out. I can't remember the details of them. I don't even think I ever knew them.
Fake charges.
I never knew the details of them.
I think they got dropped. Yeah, they got dropped. Yeah.
Kevin Spacey's was more legit, and not to mention, you know, when he came out as gay and just like use that as a defense, I'm like, bro, really?
Yeah.
Well, we're here to talk about Stranger Things. We're here to talk about episode 7.
I think to speak on what you guys were saying, I had to help a customer for a second, but I think people just think it's trendy to dump on this show. I think they just want to go, because I've seen a lot of people, oh, so overrated, it's so this and so that. I think they just say that because it's freaking trendy to say you don't like something that's super popular and they want to be edgy or whatever. And I'm just like, nah, it's actually a really good quality show. Because I don't give a lot of things a chance, and I gave this a chance, and this season's incredible. So I mean, I'll stack it up against almost anything else that somebody has something to say. This is way better than House of Cards. So
yeah,
I mean, they kind of were doing that with Game of Thrones for a while, and then by the end of it, you were like, yeah, it's not that good anymore.
Alex is right. They'll call the show garbage, and they'll be tuned in along with the rest of us. It's exactly right.
Hi, Alex. Hi, Corey. I see you.
Hi, Corey.
Hey, all. My husband in here, and of course, the legend himself, Bobby, in here. Because people, Real Housewives, anyone?
My cousin admitted watching that show, and I just looked at him, and I was like, "Are we related?"
Alex is right too. This is one of the few shows that we don't get any of the California crew at all throughout this. This is split between Russia 11 and what's going on in Hawkins. The California crew will come back in the next episode. And also I will say, rewatching this episode feels like a finale episode or a lead to finale episode, and we still have one more in between the finale.
I'd say it definitely feels like a penultimate. Yeah.
So, do you know why it feels that way? Because season 4 was split into 2 volumes.
Yes.
And so they saved the last 2 episodes for I think it was like a 2-month break or something like that.
I think it was a 1-month break or a couple weeks break, because
it was like a couple weeks or something.
Yeah, they were doing the same thing with Fear Street at the time, where they split the volumes every 2 weeks. It was dropping off because it was a trilogy to do so. That makes sense now looking back at it. But man, it's just going up from here, Toonie. It's just going up from here, my guy.
Let's hope so.
The highest rated episode on IMDb?
I believe so. It's a 9.6, which is a surprise, as much as I like the ending. But rewatching this, I think I actually like this episode more than no shade to the ending. And Frostfang, just so you know, because you're new, we're trying to not spoil as much because Toonie is watching it week by week for the first time. So he has not seen episode 8 and 9.
That's why I wanted to pull up the synopsis or the summary of the show, so I don't mix it up with other episodes.
Yeah, you know, it was all right, guys. We're almost there.
We're almost there.
Not to deter anyone, just even further.
We're more than halfway
after
there.
Looking at the times for the fifth season, was anyone surprised that like the finale was not as long as like some of the other episodes? Even episode 2 is the longest at 2 hours. I was just like, oh, that's pretty interesting. And then my boyfriend pointed out that they like kind of slur the endings and beginnings of some of these shows together. Well, they'll cut off like at a midpoint, and then they'll bring you back in and add like maybe 1 or 2 minutes of new footage to show you what's really happening or something. I was like, okay, that kind of makes sense.
I guess it depends. I mean, I'm surprised that the final season finale is not 9 episodes, but then again, I just think about like how in season 4 everyone is all in different places. Like Hopper's in Russia, the Byers moved out towards California, and everyone else is in Hawkins. And it's just like, okay, how does everyone come back together again? And I can understand the 9 episodes for that, but for this, you know, it's just I'm thinking about how season 4 ended, and I'm just like, what are they going to do?
I agree with you, because for me, I think of it in logic of like beginning, middle, and end, and it's easier to break up a 9 episode into 3 different arcs. Whereas 8, you're kind of like, okay.
Yeah, it's strange. I was expecting the finale of this season 5 to be over 2 hours. That was the rumors of it, but to have it under, I mean, they also had way more time to kind of sit there with the editing to kind of tweak this than most people did between the shutdown during COVID now and the amount of time spent between season 4 and season 5. So I trust in the Duffer Brothers that they are just the only things they're leaving on the editing floor are just like extra, like stuffed extras that they didn't need. But yeah, Vanishing of Holly Wheeler being the longest episode of it, and also in the crawl and stuff. Well, we'll see. We're gonna see. We're gonna be covering it weekly here. The schedule. I sent everybody else the schedule. Frostfang, I'll send you the schedule as well because I know with the holidays and stuff, I tell the team it's not expected for you to be there because holidays, but if you can, and I'll send you what day we're going to be doing each of these episodes discussions.
Yeah, I should be around. I mean, I'm not going anywhere this year, so and I'll definitely be watching it as much as I can. I mean, I'm gonna probably say to my mom, like, after we are done with Thanksgiving, I'm like, you gotta watch Stranger Things.
Yeah. Yeah, well, because like we're going to be covering the first episode, I believe releases the 26th, which then I believe we're covering the first. You know what? I'll pull it up. I know I have the schedule.
I think it's like the first 4 episodes, and then the 3 episodes, and then the finale. Which, I agree. I really was expecting the final episode to be as long as the finale of season 4, which is close to 2.5 hours. I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Season 5 will be starting on the 28th of November. So that week we will be starting with the first episode of season 5 discussion for it. So this should be fun. I'm excited for it. Okay. Let's get into season 4.
The Massacre at Hawkins Lab.
And thank you, Bobby. My goodness. You're such a ball of joy.
Wait. Where is my... There we go. Okay. So we are on the Massacre of Hawkins Lab. As Hopper braces to battle monster, Dustin dissects Vecna's motives. Decodes a message from beyond. Elle finds strength in distant memory. So similar to what we've been doing for the last couple episodes, because of how long these episodes are, and I don't plan on keeping my panel here for 3 hours, I have made slides split based off the group. So this one will be based off Russia, Elle, and Hawkins. As we said, as Alex has been dropping, that the California group is not included in this. So last we did leave off, Steve was being eaten apart by bats or demo bats, and Elle still hasn't discovered her powers. So we're going to start off with Russia first, because I feel even though it is a impactful part of this episode, it is the shortest, I feel, comparatively to Elle and what's going on in Hawkins.
I mean, the way that Demogorgon was absolutely ragdolling people around, I think, yeah, it was the most impactful.
That is true. So we are led to both Murray and Joyce's plan has worked so far with utilizing Yuri as Murray. They are now being able to watch what is about to happen to Hopper and the rest of them. As last episode shows, they were being fed their last meal. They are basically going to be fed to the Demogorgon that the Russians have been holding on. Frostfang, since you're new, I do have a question for you. Do you remember the end of season 3, the teaser that they had at the end where they showed in Russia a Demogorgon and they said, hey, don't mess with the American, which basically gave the fact that Hopper was still alive? What do you think that it was necessary, or should that have just not been shown at all?
I kind of mixed on that. I mean, it's a little on the nose. I think, but I didn't mind it. I guess I'm still a little bit perplexed about how. So I was talking about this with my mom upon rewatch, and I'm sorry I bring her up, but
it's fine. We love moms here.
Yeah. We were talking about how when the U.S. military came into the mall and everything, all of a sudden, all the Russians disappeared. And then when the explosion went off, Hopper's surrounded by all those Russians, and then I'm just like, well, how did they get out of there? Did they have like a secret back door? So that was the thing upon rewatching I was a little bit perplexed about, because I thought in the back of my mind, oh, they must have explained it, and then I'm just like, no, they actually didn't. So, but yeah, I do think it was a little bit on the nose. Like, they could have handled it a little bit better to not say the American. They could have just said the foreigner. Or I don't know.
Well, I also think it takes away from this particular scene, because up until now, we have not seen a Demogorgon. We haven't seen it throughout this entire season. It's just alluded to because of that scene we get at the end of season 3. So I feel like this...
you're talking about that aspect.
Yeah.
I mean, they sort of hinted at it with Erica saying, like, how big did you say that Demogorgon was when looking at that cage? So I don't know. Maybe they could have done without that and just, have had that hint towards it. But I can understand why they did it.
I open it to the rest of the panel. What do you guys think?
Did they have? I don't remember them having end of season stingers, like as in post credit stingers. In the previous seasons, that was the only one. Yeah, that's the symptom of Marvel right there, 100%. It's like they're trying, Marvel popularized that. Like, yeah, a couple of things did it before, but no, that's just. When did season 3 come out? Was it like 2015 or something like that?
Season 3 came out in 2019.
Okay, right, so I was way off. But it's what about season 2? When was that?
2017.
Okay, well, it's not that bad, I suppose. Okay, well, anyway, more to the point. It is, yeah, they're definitely just trying to do the Marvel thing. They're like, oh yeah, post credit scene, everyone is doing them now, right? I mean, my favorite part of that symptom is when Kingsman parodied it. If anyone parodied it, if anyone remembers that from The King's Man. It's like, oh, everyone's doing it, so we're going to take the mick out of it. But in terms of Stranger Things, yeah, they didn't know what to put in the stinger, but they knew they just had to do a stinger. So they're like, right, let's tease that Hopper's alive and that the Russians have got a Demogorgon. Okay, sick.
So I'm thinking that, like, to go off of Tooney's point. So actually, for everyone's point, we've heard from multiple people season 2 versus season 3. I personally don't like season 2 versus I love season 3. People don't like season 3 versus they love season 2. We all know why, the different points and stuff. I'm wondering if feedback got back to the Duffer Brothers. They were scared. They were thinking, oh my God, people aren't going to come back. So we got to give them a little Marvel teaser to get them hooked onto, like, maybe, coming back and keeping the show alive. So I'm wondering if that was probably an aspect.
Could have been. I think it's ultimately hurts the show, in my opinion. I think one, keeping it secretive that Hopper was alive, because obviously it's Hopper, right? Who else is the American?
Yeah.
You can put that together. And also keeping away that they have a Demogorgon, I think would make this more impactful, that this thing would show up. And also the revelation that he's alive. Like the Russia storyline, to me, while great, I think is the second to weakest storyline throughout the season, comparatively to the California crew. To me.
In terms of the thing was saying, like the end of show teaser that Hopper is alive. I think when I watched season 3, when we got to that episode, I was like, Hopper's alive. There's no. I don't care if we've just seen him get atomized. There's no way. First of all, like he's too popular of a character. He's gonna get killed. So
quick question, Nadia. When you say the Russian storyline, do you mean the whole thing of trying to rescue Hopper, or do you mean that also include like the part where they have to fight the Demogorgon inside the prison or whatever?
The whole storyline throughout the whole season. So the rescue, Hopper's it's not a bad story. I'm not saying this is boring or anything. And I think there's a big margin between the California crew and the Russian storyline. I think the California crew storyline is actually the weakest of the story by quite a bit. But I feel the 11 and what's going on in Hawkins is the stronger two storylines that I've
seen for sure
throughout season 4.
One of the criticisms of this show that I do agree with is the cast has become so bloated by season 4. They're almost like trying to find stuff for them to do, and it does interconnect, and it is the plot does work. But at the same time, I personally would have been fine with like half the amount of cast. Like they could have killed off some people and I'd have been fine with it. You know what I mean?
Do you think
Will Byers?
Okay. But seriously, all of us have watched this. Toonie has watched it for the first time. Do you guys even recognize that the California crew wasn't even mentioned the entire episode? And yet it was still a good episode.
Not until I don't remember who said it. One of you all said it first, and I was like, "Oh yeah, that's a good point." I didn't even think of it. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't even think
of it.
I think it was
we watched it Wednesday. Didn't even think of it.
I think it was like Alexandro or something is who said it.
And there's things I can't say because we don't want to ruin it for Toonie that the California crew is good for, but when we get to that, we'll get to that in the next episode for it.
We're almost there.
So I just want to ask, when we're talking about the California crew, are we also talking about 11?
No, 11 is separate to me. Even though she is on the West Coast, she's in Nevada, and the California kill is Will, Jonathan, Mike, and Argyle. That to me is the California crew.
Yes. If I could provide some advice to spammers, commas are a very good way to not look like a spammer.
I know. I get them on Kick all the time.
About to say, but
yeah, Kick and I'm not so much on Twitch, but a lot on Kick. For the spammers for it.
You're in for a riveting conversation when somebody you don't know opens a conversation by saying like hi friend, like what games do you play, this or anything else, and you're like it's a GFX artist every single time.
Yeah.
Her as $100. I'm like, dude, do you see the size of this channel? Like,
thank you. If you feel that.
No offense.
No, but
I'm
it's
just saying, like, do you see super chats like throwing out everywhere? Like,
and they are welcomed. If people do want to super chat, they are welcome. Appreciate it.
Just saying, like, what kind of fool do you take, Nadia?
Yeah. I never listen to those. It's just I stream the Kick just to build the Kick's channel over. But yeah, I get them all the time, and it's Kick usually. Kick is usually the worst about it. What's up, Maga? Have a good stream. Thank you. I know. I'm assuming the new Blackstreet probably just ended. Probably by now.
It could still be going on. I mean,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I basically referred to the episode as a double stuffed Oreo because they got two.
The sister.
Wait.
Rachel.
Wait, I don't get it. Somebody explain the
joke. No. We'll explain it later. Rachel will explain it later.
Someone else did. So.
Okay. All right. Put it in the group chat later. So put it in the group chat, and then I'll.
Rachel, that's on you. You got to explain.
Oh man. Okay.
All right. Back to Hopper. I think the most impactful point of this whole storyline is when Hopper sees Joyce for the first time, realizing who had come to rescue him.
Yeah, that was a good scene. A nice little slow moment. They all both running for a cuddle. It's brilliant.
Prior to that, he's the only one that's trying to put everybody up against it because he knows, like, Fire is going to stop this thing. We have to stick together. As soon as this thing shows up, the rest of the extras just completely disappeared. They're like, "Fuck this, we're out."
Yeah. Well, it's all because like they all run for each individual weapons, and then you get the Russian leader who is like, "This is my favorite part," and then you go, not to quote one of those. I don't even know his name. It's a YouTuber who was memed for his delivery of a paid advertisement on EFAP, but I can't remember his name. This is my favorite part. But anyway, the Russian leader who he says my favorite part is when they think they still have hope because they all run for weapons. But they try to stick together as a group, but then the Demogorgon just kind of absolutely ravages them one by one,
violently too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I did like that. The only thing that I didn't like was that because of how violent it was, it does kind of make Hopper's plot armor a little bit too visible. It's like, because they go through the whole thing of I did appreciate the joke when oh god, what's his name? Not Hopper, the other guy that got oh no, what's his name?
The guard that got taken with him.
Yeah.
Not
Okay,
Yuri,
Bobby, I did not mean it by that, but
not Yuri. It's the other one. It's Enzo.
That's his name,
Enzo.
Yeah.
Enzo. Yeah.
I did find it funny when Enzo looked at it and says, "Don't tell me that's not filled with fluid." I was like, "Oh no, that'd be gutted."
I'm gonna push back a little bit. I don't know that Hopper's armor is that great, because he does get recaptured, as we've already seen. He gets hurt a lot, and I think it's only his knowledge, because you got to remember, these inmates that they have going up against the Demogorgons and stuff like that, they're given weapons and stuff like that, but they're not given the information. Hopper's gone up against them multiple times, so he has an edge that like a lot of other people would not have. I kind of saw Hopper a little bit, not that I care for this movie as much as everybody else does, but I kind of saw Hopper's like Maximus going into the battles in the Rome gladiator areas, the Colosseums, the same way. Like he kind of had prior knowledge of these certain tactics and what it would take to win, and he acted as such, I think. I mean, that's how I saw it. Is that not right?
So I'm not talking about the whole show in general, like Hopper having knowledge and all that kind of stuff. I mean specifically this scene when they're all in the group. It's like what, 10 of them, something like. How many are in the scene? Roughly about 12. The Demogorgon is ripping apart loads of these guys, and Hopper is stood there trying to light the thing. I just think I could kind of see the little plot armor, how it only goes for him after he's lit the torch. It could have ripped him apart just as easily as anyone else, but it only went for him after he managed to light the torch, and he was struggling for a good long while. So I was like, I don't know, with how quickly it was tearing everyone apart, I did kind of think, ooh, it's really lucky it went for everyone else before him. Because by the end of the scene, it's only him and Enzo alive, isn't it? Everyone else is dead. And you're like, out of 12 people it ripped apart, it just left the two named characters. Like,
I would tune in on this because the flame is also really small. Like, I get it, it's afraid of fire, but it's not like he's hosting a huge torch. That thing looks like it's going to go out at any point.
Yeah, I did like that detail a little bit, that it wasn't just an instant win. Like, he did have to kind of make sure that it couldn't knock the thing out of his hand, because it did try. It was really short range. I did like that element, that it was just afraid of it enough that it couldn't just knock it out of his hand, but also that it wasn't so afraid of it that it wouldn't try to knock it out of his hand. Like, there's still a little bit of a back and forth there. It was still gaining ground on him. It was still getting closer. I did appreciate that it wasn't just an instant win when the moment the thing was lit. But again, it's only 2 characters left alive, and it's because the monster went for everybody else first. I'm like, I don't know, man. It's just one of those. It's I
kind of got the impression he was staying back and letting the other red shirts become cannon fodder a little bit. And I mean, yeah, I'll grant you, certainly. I mean, he does get, but I feel like that's just built up for tension a little bit. So maybe they overplayed it. I wouldn't have minded to like see Hopper get knocked down by the thing and be kind of, and then Enzo step in and be the one to light it. I would have written it that way, so that it would have been a little bit of a head fake, where you're like, oh shit, maybe Hopper is going to get it this time, and then Enzo has to come in and save him. But at the same time, I mean, the other guys could have been wearing red shirts and stuff like that, but I mean, you got to suspend a little bit of disbelief for that.
What I think they should have done is if they'd had fewer red shirts in the scene in general, and then instead of having the Demogorgon just run in and butcher them like that, they could have had it more, because they do try and kind of set it up that it doesn't just want to run in and kill everything. It's more of a hunter that needs to like hunt prey rather than that. So they could have had it so that instead of it just running in and ravaging everybody, it does sort of play with the red shirt, even the red shirts, just a little bit before it kills them. So then when it knocks Hopper down and doesn't kill him straight away, you can kind of go for the idea that, well, it's not diving for the kill because it wants to, I don't know, scare
play
the prey
with
first.
His food.
Yeah.
Play with his food or some way. Yeah.
I'll buy that. I'll even grant you, like, they should have done something like Enzo is 100% on Team Hopper, and he's like, okay, we're gonna do this, and then like Enzo gets killed immediately. Like, that would have been a nice little subversion. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
It would have been a nice, I suppose it would have been an interesting subversion. It would have been subversive at least. I don't know, without spoiling the specifics, I suppose, does Enzo have like a purpose in the show going forward? I don't know. It's one of those, you got to be careful with your subversions. You do kind of box yourself in sometimes.
Well, actually, Enzo would make sense to kill off, to be honest. And
we don't really need him.
Yeah. You don't. And he would probably be more impactful death than, like, say, Alexei was in the last season. Yeah. Because Hopper actually has that connection with him throughout this.
I mean, basically spilled his guts to him, didn't he, in the cell before? So could have been interesting. Could have had a scene of that, actually.
This thing was super violent. I know we've had violence throughout the show. I mean, the demi-dogs in the last season or the season before, whatever, when R.I.P. Bob. And I know I feel like the Mind Flayer wasn't as violent, right? It was just almost like tentacly, like sci-fi creepy, right? This thing is like grabbing, it's like putting its head around people's faces and just like gnawing at it and all that kind of stuff. It was pretty violent on it. But
you gotta love a good horrifying monster kill.
During this whole time, Joyce and Murray are working on getting all good.
The bulkhead door open.
They've taken one of the general's hostages, and they're trying to get the door open for them. Joyce is just like a woman pressing buttons just to see what will work. I can relate. Rachel's laughing because we can relate. We're like, fuck, let's just press everything and let's see what works.
I saw that scene and I literally was like, I do the same thing. I would do the same thing.
What is going on?
Because if none of the guards or anything in there are willing to help you, because if the monster escapes, then everyone dies. If none of them are willing to help you, which button are you gonna push? You don't speak Russian. You don't. Yeah, you're gonna. Well, maybe not everything at once, but you're gonna push some random buttons and see what they do, because you don't have a foundation of where to start. Especially if it's a video game, you are pushing all the buttons at once.
And if anybody's watched me play Alien Isolation, I press all the buttons all the time, even ones I've forgotten. Like, wait a minute, where's the map?
Can I briefly comment on that? That Alien Isolation is the sequel, or the screw Alien Earth. Earth. Yeah.
Screw
Alien Isolation is how you do it with the story that's within the Alien universe, not continuing to go and retcon back and say, well, Ellen Ripley's encounter with the alien is not that unique.
Yeah, it takes away entirely from the first movie and the second movie. Past that point, it's murky, it's messy, but I agree with you, Frostwing. Yeah, I dipped out after episode, I think 3. I was like, this is not entertaining whatsoever. I'm not wasting my time with it.
I haven't even watched it.
Rachel looks like she's seen all of it. She's just all of it.
I've seen people complain about it, and that was enough.
Yeah. Usually I still will watch something just to get my own perspective on it. And I watched the first 3, and the first 2 episodes, while a little bloated, they weren't bad. They were pretty. It was a weird story to set up. The 3rd episode, I was like, yeah, I'm out. This is weird. Which I'm going to circle it back once we get to Vecna.
I've finished Alien Isolation, by the way.
You did? Oh, man. I have not, because anybody watching knows I stream it. I play it streaming. I probably am about halfway through the game. The reason why I haven't streamed lately is it literally gives me anxiety. I leave my streams shaking. So I've been playing other games just to kind of help with it, but I will be back for some more Alien Isolation. I know you all like watching me go from locker to locker while I'm trying not to be eaten by the xenomorph. I know that's super entertaining. I'm glad I'm not playing it on PlayStation, where it can hear you breathing, because it would hear me. I wouldn't make it through the cave at all.
How annoying is that, by the way? That it's like, wait, you have to play on a console version to connect your mic to it. You're like, yeah, but you can
I would think
connect
it would be
like
the reverse.
PC.
I would think
If anything, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I suppose I get it for stuff like, because when it came out, I don't know what year did it come out? Hang on, it was like 2015, I think.
I think so. Listen, and also I'll call myself out. I'm playing on the easiest level, because I'm just not good at video games. It's fine. I enjoy video games. I can admit that I enjoy them and not good at them at the same time. And I'm still getting wrecked left and right by the Xenomorph and the Working Joes and by people. I'm like, what the heck?
Yeah.
So yes. Go ahead, Toonie.
I can't remember what I was going to say. I don't know when they discontinued Connect and all that kind of stuff, but I know that in terms of stuff like I don't know if it ever had like some kind of Connect functionality, but like how you can peek around corners and all that kind of stuff. I think no, it was VR that they tried doing that with, wasn't it? Where you could physically peek around corners like with the the VR.
Oh yeah.
I'm not playing that with VR. I'm not playing that on VR. Nope. No.
I'd love to play some VR stuff, but I don't have VR, and I definitely don't have the room here to like in my room. There's just no way I'm setting that up with a PC setup. I'd have to move out to even begin setting that up.
I'll play some Baldur's Gate with VR, but I'm not playing Alien. Switch, and that's not happening. That is not happening, folks. Unless anybody wants to fund my VR system. All right, back to Stranger Things on this.
There's a price for everything.
So the extras are pretty much devoured by this thing. The left is Enzo and Hopper. All is lost, and somehow the door behind them, even though he tried to crow it open, right? I think that's what it's. Is it crow?
Yeah. Crowbar it open. Yeah. Like
it like
I'm sure Toxic knows the terminology.
But it like opened up. Is it crow? Are you crowing something, Toxic?
You might be working. All right. Okay. Yeah.
So it magically opens up, and it's Joyce and Murray. And this actually brought tears almost to my eyes. This was impactful.
Even the music started, the closed caption started and said emotional music starting.
I know.
That was my favorite thing. I remember that in the Dear Billy episode when Max was escaping Vecna. It was like when she rips out part of his neck and she actually escapes the trap. The subtitle said "Emotional bridge continues." I was like, "That's brilliant." I love that.
I did a very funny thing when Mom and I were rewatching it. I started quoting Adele. Hello, it's me.
That it would fit here, but this watching this on the first time when I saw it, it was as emotional on the second watch. The first time I was like, "Oh, this is emotional," but holy shit! Wait till Elle sees him, like because she thinks her dad's dead. Yeah, this entire time, still too.
So there's a couple of things I wanted to mention. First of all, Bobby Blankenship play on VR, get the most expensive set so you can walk and run and jump and duck and shit. Full dive, Carito, let's fucking go. I don't know what Carito is, but no, I want to say, like, in terms of VR stuff, like, people go absolutely, like, they go all in with that kind of stuff. If you've seen Ready Player One, with like the full what do they call them, haptic suits and all that kind of stuff, where you can like feel the sensations and everything like that. I'm pretty sure something like that already exists. I don't know if they're probably not quite as good as Ready Player One because future tech, but they do go fully in with that kind of stuff. But I remember Elite Dangerous. I don't know if anyone's knows of that game. It's like a space simulation.
My boyfriend plays that game. It's the one you drive in space, right? He loves it. Oh, yeah.
It's a space flight, well, not space flight simulator. It's sort of it. It's got it's supposed to be an authentic space flight game, but in its fictional future universe. But because of how realistic they try to make the space flight, people have actually gone like full all in with the VR stuff to the point where you can get a setup that makes your VR set look like an actual pilot seat. So people will sit in them and all that, and they'll have like controls on their chair that they'll pilot the ship with. And I love that stuff like that is what's pushing VR technology forward is gaming. It's just
pictures of people's setups that they make them look exactly like you're flying a ship or something. Oh my God,
and they'll even have the suits on so that, like, let's say your cockpit smashes and all that, they'll sort of like they can. Do you know what I mean? It's like, well, they actually feel like they're in space almost. It's like,
wow. I wonder if he knows about the suits. I don't know if he knows about the suits.
Bobby, I know about Sword Art Online. I've seen it. I got you.
I haven't, unfortunately.
It's
Double
an anime.
gasp.
See, the thing about video games is that putting on a VR suit, I tried to de-stress with video games. I don't try to exercise. I mean, that's what a gym is for. Like,
yep.
sorry, like,
that's why I haven't played Alien Isolation in a while.
If we switch to VR, speedrunners are gonna have a really tough time. Like,
oh man, I can't imagine speedrunning with a VR system. I'm the same way. I like cozy games. I like RPG games, things like Animal Crossing, where I can de-stress. Right now, I'm playing Cult of the Lamb.
Have you played Stardew Valley? That's a very good one.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like right now, I'm in the middle of fully playing of Tsushima, and I'm just thinking to myself, I am not teaching myself how to use a katana.
You should. Because my husband and I celebrated 9 years. Where is it?
She's gonna pull out a machine gun katana. That's what she's
no. So
flamethrower
for our 9-year anniversary. My husband got me a practice sword because he does German longsword fencing, and I want to actually do that with him. So he got me a practice sword to learn how to fence. German longsword, not the little gay stuff. Yeah, not that.
Yeah.
No, I want something with like some meat to it.
Yeah. The other thing I wanted to mention was, what did everyone think of Murray's Yuri impression? Like when he falls into character, I thought it was actually like pretty on point for what we saw of Yuri.
I thought that was so hilarious where the Russian guard is just like, I heard about this dude and the dude you're supposed to be, and he's supposed to have a screw loose. And you know what I'm thinking? You are more crazy than expected.
It's like, you have a few screws loose. It's like, but I love how he didn't break character or panic in that moment. He just kind of does he's like his smile gets like even more exaggerated.
Because Murray is a G, man. He is an OG. He knows how to handle. You saw those karate moves in
this episode. Yeah, he actually does take down some guards, doesn't he?
With karate. Yeah.
I'm going to say this right now. I'm going to be very upset. I will be upset if Murray goes.
Yeah. Season 5?
I'm going to be upset.
Remind me, when we were watching the teaser and the trailer, he wasn't in any of it, was he?
No.
I don't think so.
He's going to go out like Eddie. He's going to go out fighting like loads of Demogorgons with karate.
But they did say that most of that footage was from the first part, like the volume 1, right? Yeah. So maybe he's in 2 and 3. So
maybe.
I mean, you can only shove in so much to a trailer for a show
people
that
are going to watch this.
8 movie-long episodes. So.
Yeah. I will say it'll be interesting. Thank you, everybody. We've got 31 people watching across all platforms. Thank you so much for joining us. Hit that like button. We will be having a Stranger Things Deadpool. I'm going to figure it out. We're going to figure out how to put a Deadpool together to kind of figure out who is going for season 5. And hopefully there's not much strong plot armor for most of the major cast. But we will see. We'll see. Back to our very
well.
Just Will.
I think really tired of
it won't be Will
and just being like,
it won't be Will and it won't be Jonathan. It will be Steve. The reason why it'll be Steve is Steve has no background. We don't know anything about his family. We've never met family. We've never met siblings.
There is one. I did write that down. So I wrote down stuff. I didn't have anything written down for Russia because it was completely like super short.
Yeah.
But I did have that written down. When they are walking and they save Steve, Eddie talks to him and he says, I know you got rich parents and all this. I was like, there, mentions of rich parents.
It's mentioned in season 1. Season 1, it's mentioned he's got rich parents.
I mean, he does live in this big house.
Thing, then?
Yeah, that's the only thing. It's just referred to that he is like upper class rich kid. Yeah.
No,
it's okay.
Frostfang's abandoning us. It's okay. It's fine. It's fine. I'm on the message. What was I going to say? I mean, we know that he lives in a big house because somebody who is also who is going to be pivotal in this episode and the next died there. So
yeah. Well, I really honestly think it'll be Steve for season 5 because Jonathan and Will doesn't make sense to put Joyce through that. It wouldn't make any sense with what she's gone through with Will. It just wouldn't fit the character, but Steve, it does.
It's going to turn out that Jonathan and Will have been dead the whole show and that this is all just a Joyce hallucination.
Well, look at this touching moment. This is so sweet. I like that he like smiles because at first he doesn't realize. He thinks he's dead probably or something.
Yeah, he thinks it's like a hallucination or something. He's like, no, it's real. She's really there.
And he snuggles into her hat and stuff. And he's like, yeah, this is beautiful. This is a beautiful moment. Yeah. Very touching between the two of them.
So Nadia, I did want to mention, we talked, I think you talked in chat or messages about the budget of season 5. And when I was looking it up, apparently the SAG-AFTRA strike, they were ready to film it, but then they delayed it. And then they had to further delay it because, looking at it, Winona Ryder, she onboarded Beetlejuice 2. So they had to work around her schedule, I believe. So the thing is that when you put off a movie, like a movie's like filming, you're basically spending money as you do that.
Yeah, because you have to pay for the contract. There's like clauses in the contract too that they would have to pay for as stuff. If you don't know, I worked in Hollywood for like 13 years. So I've been through this stuff. Like there's certain expectations of like when actors and crew, everybody focuses on the actors, but crew, these are their livelihoods. So they're reliant on it so they have to constantly pay these people, even if they're not filming yet. That's why when a film goes down for a day, so let's say somebody's injured, something goes wrong, a light burst or something, that's money that's being cost to them while they're down because they still have to pay people for that day if it's in the clause.
That kind of explains why Indiana Jones 5 was so ballooned, because I think Harrison Ford was injured a number of times.
What's up, Scooby? I see you. What's up? I'll be on Scooby's channel tomorrow talking about horror stuff.
Scooby!
But yeah, it's 50 to 60 million per episode for season 5.
Yeah, what's the budget like? What's that spent on? Like
drugs.
Well, like I mentioned, it's it's the SAG-AFTRA thing that happened where everyone went on strike, and so that delayed production. And then I think Winona Ryder, like I said, Winona Ryder went on to Beetlejuice 2, and that also made complications.
I need to watch that Beetlejuice 2. I watched the first one.
No, you don't.
Really? I thought it was good.
I love first one is fantastic. I love the first one. Second one is probably one of the worst movies I saw in the. Was it last year it came out? I think. Yeah, just it's bad. It's bad. It's too bloated storylines that they try, and half the time when you're in one storyline, you completely forget about the other characters for the other storyline. It doesn't work.
So, are any of them California tier?
All right, back to Stranger Things. Let's get through this. We don't want to be here for 3 hours. We made these slides and we still got 2 other storylines to get through. All right, Russia. So this kind of ends Russia. We're going to be talking about 11 next, but does anybody in the panel have any additional to say about our Russian storyline in this episode?
I can't wait to see Murray try to burn the Demogorgon with a flamethrower.
I know.
I mean, I don't know, that entire scene in the cage match. I don't know if anyone knows. I watch YouTube channel. It's pretty big called Goji Center, and they cover dinosaurs and monsters from movies and kaiju and whatever. And I basically said to them during a stream recently, I said, you need to put the Demogorgon against the Xenomorph because like Demogorgon can take a hit.
Yeah.
Holy cow! What? That's a good. You know what? I'm gonna keep that in mind for our Deadpool. Maybe we'll have it as a little poll for everybody in the chat. Okay, that's cool. I think the Xenomorph would win.
Yeah. I don't know if they'd be so quick and decisive because the xenomorph has acid for blood, but I mean it would also have to get injured in order to utilize it.
I think the xenomorph is more intelligent, so thus I think it would be able to strategize better than the Demogorgon.
Yeah, I think it might be more intelligent. It might just win out, but I also don't think the Demogorgon is just a completely mindless beast either. Like I feel like it does. It will also, like what's the xenomorph? What's that?
Bobby, the stream continues to be so shocking. I'm gonna give myself a pearl necklace just so I can clutch it. Oh shit! I shouldn't have said pearl necklace. Now fucking Zax is gonna chop that shit up and just.
Anyway,
I'm not even gonna repeat. You know what? Off stream.
Right? That's how we.
Kata said he's gonna increase the new Blackstreet to 35 minutes of the the show. He's gonna probably add that clip.
I'm more worried about Zax, but he's on vacation, so hopefully he doesn't go back and watch our episodes.
Not stop him last time.
I know, Rachel. I'm sorry. Sometimes he just randomly shows up. It could be like 2 a.m. where he's at. He's like, "What's up, guys?" All right.
Again, like I just throwing my 2 cents in there. The Demogorgon seems heavily resistant to bullets. I mean, in the first season, they shot the heck out of him, and it didn't really affect him.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the xenomorph is also resistant to like normal weapons. Don't forget in the Alien universe they're using these like futuristic pulse rifles to kill them. The Marines are, but especially if you play Alien Isolation, you could shotgun that thing. It'll just look at you and be like, "Oh, hey,
I've done it, and I've died multiple times."
even the railgun doesn't hurt that thing.
Nothing hurts that thing. You got to sneak around that thing.
I can't remember if the railgun is sufficient to the flamethrower that it might make it run away for a few seconds, but I actually can't remember that.
Time out. Do I get a flamethrower in Alien Isolation?
You do.
It depends on. Okay. Oh well, I thought you would. I thought you would be way further in the game than that. It's fairly early on in the game.
The problem is that if you overuse it, then the alien is gonna like get smart enough to.
Yeah. Fuel for it is limited. It just buys you a few. It just buys you a few seconds. By the way, with flamethrower, so don't try not to abuse it.
No, listen. If I become president, 2028, vote for me.
Classic.
Every citizen of the United States will get a flamethrower because I want a fucking flamethrower.
Hell yeah!
I want to.
Modify the Second Amendment.
You get a flamethrower, and you get a flamethrower, and you get a flamethrower.
2A is that's it. There's no like all this red tape around 2A. That's it. Universal
so Nadia literally just brought Toxic into the stream so that he could get her vote for that.
I'm telling you, I want a flamethrower.
I have been asking. What are you talking about?
I've been asking my husband for the last like couple weeks. I'm like, I want a flamethrower. Anytime he shows me a new pew pew that he wants to buy, I'm like, I don't care about this. You got enough of them. I want a flamethrower. And then I found out, by the way, you can get a grenade launcher. You just can't get grenades. You can launch other stuff, which I was a little disappointed. But I'm like, if I can launch other stuff, then I kind of want a grenade launcher too.
You can launch tear gas. You can launch flares. All kinds of stuff.
Hey, make it a potato launcher.
Ooh, I don't know.
Nadia, I may know somebody who's ex-military who may allegedly have some grenades somewhere. Let me know.
Allegedly.
Listen, I'm Middle Eastern. I don't know if that's a good look. I don't know if that's a good look.
Depends on what type of Middle Eastern you are. There's a lot.
I'm Catholic, if that helps. And
I don't think all Muslims are bad. Come on.
Yeah,
I'm not that.
I'm Jordanian and Palestinian. That's what I am. So
okay.
I'm a mix of those.
I was going to say, I thought you were going to say that you were Asian. I was like, well, that doesn't, it didn't mean what it used to. So
I don't want to DIY a flamethrower, Bobby. I want the Tesla, the one that's shaped like
a company.
That's just like the big one. And I want to just like, and granted, I always have to say this every stream. I don't want to hurt animals and I don't want to hurt people. I don't want to hurt things. I have no intention of hurting people. I just want to fuck some shit up.
Biker.
Yeah,
they're just fun, they're just fun stream jokes.
My dog was here. I was on a stream previously before this for Niet, and my dog hopped up here and I was like, she was getting my attention. I'm like, don't make me Hassan Piker you.
Hey, yo,
they're spoiled rotten. Everybody knows this. They're spoiled fucking rotten. So,
People literally buy
Get Smart
pets
was
as
an awesome
slaves.
TV show.
Yeah.
When you get a pet, you literally get a slave that you shackle and take everywhere with you. You're like, I don't think that creature is a pet to you. I think you just bought a slave that was legal.
It's just a prop for him. It's just, I don't mean to derail the stream, but for Hassan, that dog is a prop, and that poor dog is probably living a very lonely, very isolated life from what I've seen. So yeah, Bobby, yeah, heck yeah, it's called the Crusades, my guy. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, I mean the Crusades, the tithes, the witch hunts. I mean, it's more judging on the metric of there's never been a reformist time for the Islamist fundamental system. So
it's always the Catholics. We always got to come up and clean up everything, y'all. The rest of you that are like Protestant and Christian light, no offense to all those, Christ is King, all that good stuff, but Catholics, we're the ultimate badasses. We're the ones with the backbones. Yep.
Yeah, we are.
So Ireland, there you
go.
Right,
let's dial the stream up to 11, shall we?
Yes, let's dial it. Let's talk theology. Let's go. All right, 11. We're gonna go. Okay, now 11 and Hawkins do intertwine. I understand that, so we might be repeating ourselves a little bit. That's totally fine, because towards the end of 11's little storyline in this kind of overlaps with Nancy's a little bit. So 11 still hasn't been able to get her powers back, trying very hard. So Dr. Owens is concerned for her, but Dr. Brenner thinks we can basically turn this up to 11. Like, you don't want to wait. You want her powers back. Hawkins is running out of time. We got to turn this girl up to 11 in it.
Yep. I like that scene of Owens being quite disappointed that he's not, he's basically given 11 back to Dr. Brenner in terms of, which is kind of, he said he wanted to protect 11 from people like Dr. Brenner in the first place. So he's already sort of walked back and sacrificed some of his principles for the greater good. And he's also, but him doing that, he also hasn't got anything to show for it. Still, like him doing that, he still hasn't gotten 11's powers back, which is what he promised her, which is the whole reason he did it in the first place. So now he's getting like pretty disgruntled that he's having to when he's sacrificing on his principles for the sake of the greater good, and he's not even achieving the greater good. And then Dr. Brenner is like, "You want progress? I'll give you progress."
Yeah.
And he dials the. Wait, you okay? Well, I feel like I've said something dead bad. Or...
I don't want to interrupt you. Please continue, Tootie. Just go ahead.
Oh, is it a spoiler thing? Is that?
No, it's just that her hat looks like she's got a bunch of sperm on her head. It just looks like it.
Ew.
Haram. This is why she was on New Black Street, folks.
Haram.
What if she wants to be haram toxic? What then?
Rachel's laughing because she agrees, and the reason I covered my mouth so that Zax can't get that clip.
Oh man!
What I find funny
that's not even the worst part about this. The worst part about this is that wasn't even scripted for her to wear that in this. It's such as Drake gave that to her and was like, "Hey girl, wear our special hat when you get on the show, so I know you're thinking about me." And all right, Drake.
I thought you were going to mention the fact that Vecna and her relationship in the flashbacks is very. We check the hard drives. Let's sit down. Like, take a seat, Vecna. like what's going on here?
Why don't you take a seat?
Yeah. Sorry, Tootie. Sorry, I didn't mean to. I was just staring at it. I'm like, those look like little drop. Never mind. Go ahead.
Oh, the Vecna would just be like, "Wow, you have a seat."
Yeah.
Yeah. Dr. Owens looks as out of this conversation as I do.
Yeah, he's just like,
sorry, Judy.
No, but the funniest part of that for me was that before anybody even said anything, I could see Rachel cracking up.
Can you guys imagine Toonie's like conversation with his coworkers the next day after he does stuff like, "Oh, how was your stream last night, Toonie?" And he's like, "Well, the septics were going on about sperm on top of people's heads while we was discussing
like little drawn, little like." Anyway,
I hear ya.
So do you know what
It almost looks like something that Princess Amidala would wear.
Do you know? So do you know the Ahsoka show, right? How people have done that very dangerous meme with the long Ahsoka. Ahsoka says it's she meets Luke, and then Luke says, "Oh yeah, Obi-Wan told me about you," and then she goes, "Oh, what did he say?" And it's just this long list of I don't know if anyone's seen that meme.
No.
That's what a dangerous meme. Yeah, Rachel knows the meme. It's that long.
I think I know.
It's that long list of
things that she's good at.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Okay.
And then his response, that's the thing that he's thinking of in the back of his mind, is like the conversation you have with Obi-Wan, and then his response to her is, "Oh yeah, you said you were a good friend." That's me with this stream. I'm asked about what happened in this stream. I think back to stuff like this, and I go, "Oh yeah, it was a good stream." That's the real life variant of that meme. It's like,
okay, all right. I'll get away from it. Okay. All right. By the way, Dr. Brenner's hair, man. Very nice on it. So she ends up going
Doc Brown vibes.
It does. But as somebody with gray and silver hair, it works. Oh, yeah. So she does go back. And these might be a little bit out of order now. I'm realizing it. To the final memory, because at the end of the last episode, she thinks she's the one that massacred everybody still. And Brenner's not giving it away, which I can understand. He wants her to discover it for herself, what really happened. And we, in a sense, watched that day play out again between the number 2 getting tortured. I would say tortured or punished for what he did to number 11. And that thing looked like it was, not good. Mm-hmm. Not good. And then we get the scene between, it's not Henry. What do they call him here? Is it Henry?
It's not Fred or something, is it? Oh, no.
Do they call him?
I know, because they don't call him 1, because that's revealed towards the end that he was 1, because it's the illusion that one doesn't exist right now. So I guess, I don't know what 11.
Henry.
So just Henry?
Henry Creel.
Okay. Yeah, I know he's Henry Creel, but I don't think he's called Henry when he's the orderly here. Because obviously that would give away the whole Creel story until we get to the end of it.
I honestly think he was just being orderly. Like, I don't think they ever called him anything, because I think any name would reveal something. So it was just orderly. But I don't remember.
Peter. It's Peter.
Oh, it's Peter?
That's who.
How many times did they call him that?
Not much. He secretly helps her hide and convinces her to trust him. So here he's manipulating her to that she should run away, basically escape. He will help her. Doesn't allude to the whole plan. But again, Chris Hansen vibes. 100% Chris Hansen vibes. This is rewatching this. I'm like, why is this adult man? Because we see 11 as she is right now, but you have to remember these are flashbacks. So she's even younger than what she's portrayed in the current timeline. They're just
this is before season 1, wasn't it? So
yes,
this would have been
very young.
Like she would have been like how old was she at the start of that? Like 11?
I think 11. So she's probably 9 or 10 here, depending on the age. Yeah, so she's still very, very young. They just used Millie Brown instead of the stand-in for most of this, because it's
definitely giving kid toucher stuff for sure.
He has the hair for it. Do you know what I mean? That's just
he's got the whole vibe for it. I mean, shit. Yeah. Even Drake didn't even come after her till like.
Oh my god, 15. The whole Drake thing.
I think I have a different opinion about this whole thing, except the fact that I'm looking at that flag in the back, or the rainbow thing in the background, and I'm like picturing John De La Rose going like, it's imagery. They're trying to convert everyone.
Oh, not with this. First of all, the rainbow was a Christian image for a lot of people, but this is just because kids. Rainbow.
No, that's 80s. Yeah, that was 80s. That's what our shit looked like in the 80s.
I know. Everywhere. It's just every time someone posts about John De La Rose, it's just he's going off on something, and I think he's doing it for attention. But
100%.
Just I'm like, oh my god, dude, you're reaching very far. But to get to my point, I really didn't think that this relationship was in any way sexual.
No.
No, really.
No. I understand that. Like some people would feel that way, but I kind of feel like he's trying to be like the big brother that she never had, and just trying to be nice to her because, he sees the potential in her, like he sees this potential in himself, except Papa or Brenner put that thing in his neck. So,
yep.
Which it's very odd.
Go
like,
on.
I don't understand the logistics of that thing in his neck. I know it's sci-fi and everything, but it's like, well, would you put it more like in his brain or like at the stem of his brain or something instead of his neck?
It could be like pulsating wavelengths to stop him instead of.
I know there's like stuff that you can give patients where it blocks certain parts of the brain receptor or whatever, but I guess me being a very technical person, I just was like, well, how does it do it? Does it just like cause a block the what place it's put, or I don't know.
Yeah,
it's probably the same way of
neurological functions.
It's the same way the neck works. They show the neck thing that they put on 2 to subdue his powers. So I'm assuming it's similar to that, where it has to be placed somewhere or near the neck to have the wavelengths work to subdue the powers.
Yeah, I mean, the neck is very crucial, like to the brain. I mean, it's right next to the brain. So I guess that does play a part in it, but I don't know. It's very, their dynamic in this season was very interesting. And I gotta give a lot of credit to this actor that plays Creel. God, he's been in
Jamie Campbell, I think.
Yeah. He was in that King Arthur show on Stars, which was basically like, it was basically like Game of Thrones, but like obviously with nudity. So, which you never really think about with King Arthur, but he was also in Harry Potter, I think.
Twilight.
He was in Twilight, and then he was in The Mortal Instruments, which was a failed one.
He also reads spicy books too. So if you want to read, here's Vecna reading spicy books, you can.
Well, which voice? His original voice or the mutated voice where it's just like, I'm gonna create something beautiful?
His normal British voice.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It's like it's like I'm trying to think of I'm trying to think of a spice or like some kind of spicy line to do with Vecna's voice. It's like, and he caught her eye or something like that.
Frostbite, I agree with you. I don't think this is a sexual relationship. It just gives a little creepy vibes. No. I actually think Peter here, Henry or something, he's stunted, right, in his growth. He didn't have a childhood. Watching flashback to his creation that we get towards the end of this episode, he's kind of portrayed as almost this overly intelligent child, right? He's just has no, what's the word when you don't have any emotions? Are you a sadist or
sociopath? I think
sociopathic, something like
sociopathic.
that.
Yeah, so he's sociopathic. Yeah. So I think he relates to her because he's in a sense he was stunted at the age that she is now. So I think I agree with you. It's maybe more of a sibling kind of relationship he's looking for. Maybe even to be the replacement father relationship to it. But there were some weird choices and positions with these two in this. Wait, that sounded weird. Bad.
Well, if he's a sociopath, if he's a sociopath,
okay, that's Clips, I think.
Bobby brought up a good point, and I don't know if the other flags in the mirrors are like reflective of this, but if you look above number Peter,
yeah,
his shoulder, the flag is upside down.
Could that just be?
I can't tell. Is there
another brothers based
or?
It's because we're in her memories. We're seduced in her memories. So this is not real life. This is not, I mean, this really happened. Don't get me wrong, but she's probably not, the rooms aren't probably put together because she's reliving memories and it's based off our perspective, or it's just a continuity issue that they're like, fuck, we didn't flip the.
I like that detail in an episode of Batman the Animated Series. He escapes a dream world because he realizes, do you know the Mad Hatter? Like he's always trying to like put people in dream worlds. He escapes he realizes he's in a dream because he reads the newspaper and like all the letters are like dead weird, like back to front, where he can't decipher the words, and he says in dreams.
you can't read in your dream. That's why.
Yeah, that's how he puts it together. Even though it all looks dead real, he's like, wait a minute, this can't be real because I can't read it.
If you guys believe that this guy's a sociopath, and the things that he's doing, which is what I think, is they're just affectations. They're just a disguise. He can't have empathetic emotions towards her and think of her as a little sister or be a father figure, any of those things. He's grooming her, but not for anything dirty or sexual, although that may be a small component. He's grooming her so that she can help him overthrow, be his Darth Maul to his Sidious, so that they can get out of there.
Rule the world.
Yeah, remember, they've got to take on like a huge section of the United States military. He's not going to be able to pull all that shit off by himself. So he's going to take the most powerful one, who accidentally, in some ways, is also the more susceptible one, and play into her needs and wants and fears and things like that. And he's going to get her on his side so that he can have a good number two. And it just so happens to be she's also a female.
Good number two.
Number two.
I just watched all
this. I was sad. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead, Rachel. Go ahead.
No, I just rewatching this. I was like super sad because I was rewatching it, and when we watched it for the first time, all of us, we didn't know what was going on, and then now rewatching it, you see that like she didn't know what was going on. So in the past, she's reliving all of this, and just realizing she was completely fooled, completely manipulated, just a dunce hat on her head. And I felt bad. I was just like, I don't think he actually wanted to hurt her, just like Lord said. I'm just like, I think he wanted her to be his right hand woman,
student,
something.
student.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I think these scenes hurt too with having Millie Brown in it instead of the younger 11, because I think people think that, oh, she's older now, she's 16, 17 years old, she should be able to determine right from wrong, not realizing this is supposed to be like 9-year-old 11.
Right.
Yeah, it's kind of difficult to sell the whole thing. It's like, well, yeah, it's a 9-year-old being groomed by this almost not all powerful, but like this really powerful guy who's grooming her to try and escape, and then all that kind of stuff. And it's like, well, when she's I don't know how old she's supposed to be at this point anyway, but it's like when she's older, and it's kind of hard to sell the naivety of it a little bit. So I see what you mean. I mean, they could have, I don't know how much it would have hiked up the budget, but I mean, maybe they could have used some de-aging on her.
I don't think it would have looked good. I mean, even looking at it when they put her face on the extra, you can tell. Like, you can definitely tell that it's CGI'd on the face for it.
I think the writing on this works really well because it puts us, we have to empathize with her because we were fooled from the misdirect of the beginning, in like whoever else said, she's being fooled now. So it makes us empathize with her even more, even though we know obviously whatever else happens, like logistically, we know she's going to get out of this flashback. We know that in real time, we've seen her, whatever else happens, she gets past this. But we don't know how much stuff she's going to have to suffer through before we find the 11 that we know in the woods in that season 1 opener and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like what cruel, horrible stuff did this guy put her through? And to a lesser extent, listen, nobody else's hands are clean in this. It's not like, he wouldn't have had a way to do this to her if not for all the machinations of Papa and everything, like, you know what I mean? Like, so none of that she wouldn't even be in this situation if not for that. Oh, and one last thing, Rachel, we've worked together enough. You don't need to call me by my title. You could just say Tox or Toxicity. You don't need to say Lord, but thank you.
So I wanted to comment on 2 things. first, Bobby, you're correct. Sociopath is different from psychopath. Sociopath would be something like Sherlock Holmes, where he's not a very emotional person. He's very analytical. He can still be on the side of good. It's just his mind just thinks very, like you said, academic observations. It's just he just can't really, empathize as much as other people. So like basically, if people want an example of sociopath, that's basically Sherlock Holmes. But the other part is that the thing about the flashbacks is that we already know the dynamic between 11 and Dr. Brenner. We already know that Dr. Brenner is basically a bastard, a manipulative one at that. And when we're reintroduced to him in season 4, you're just like, okay, I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop with this guy. And with the inclusion of one or Victor Creel or Vecna, you're really not sure where it's going to go, because you're just thinking to yourself, well, Brenner is bastard, and you're kind of thinking like, okay, he is probably manipulating her, or he's the one behind it all, or whatever. But it's kind of twofold, where basically Victor Creel is a creation, or I don't want to spoil anything. He's basically a creation of Brenner's arrogance.
Do you mean Henry, not Victor?
Oh yeah, sorry, I'm getting between.
I like to say that.
Between two names.
Vecna.
And basically, Henry is just. He basically just wants to be let free, like, and it's just basically like, the whole thing is that you're thinking to yourself, okay, is Brenner at the center of this, or is Henry? And that's what makes the whole flashback scenes interesting, because we already know what Brenner is capable of, but we don't really know that much about Henry.
That's true. Leading up to it, we still think Brenner is the bad guy in a sense to this point. We even up to this point on the first watch, before Peter whatever goes on this killing spree, we're still empathetic to it, because like, oh, Brenner must be holding him hostage. Like, what is going on here? Why does he have this device in his neck? And then it just turns out to be that actually he is not a good person. He does,
No, he's now. I do want to ask everyone, because we now know fully what the whole memory is. Do you think, what part of the memory, or that whole section that 11 is blanked out in her mind, what part do you think is the most traumatic for her? That
the part she played in it, the fact that she allowed sorry, was there a bit that you wanted to add on to the end of that before I just jumped in?
No, go on. Okay. I just wanted to ask, like, which part do you think was the most traumatic, because that was the thing that I was thinking of after rewatching it very recently.
I'll definitely say it's the part she played in it. I mean, it weren't her fault, because she's supposed to be like 9 or 10, and this guy who says, who says, this guy who did lie to you absolutely lied to you. He doesn't have your best interest at heart, and he doesn't have my best interest at heart. Let's escape. Of course, a 9-year-old is going to fall for that. I'd imagine some like adults would be, at least, even if they're a little bit suspicious of him, they'd still team up with him over Brenner. I mean, the grooming strategies would be completely different, albeit, but I feel like you could still be persuaded if Brenner is who he is. But yeah, when you're tricked by this guy into basically enabling him to massacre a bunch of children, and adults, even if they deserve it or what. But when you're basically groomed into enabling a mass murderer like this, yes, that would absolutely fuck you up.
Yep.
So I definitely think that's where the trauma comes from.
I think it kind of circles back to season 1 too, because remember season 1, the end of season 1, she blew out all those guys' heads. It's a very similar thing. Where did she learn it from? She didn't learn it from Brenner. She could have easily. This could have been where she had learned it from.
Oh wait, there is actually a moment in this later in this scene where Vecna or Henry, whatever we're calling him, he breaks someone's neck by doing like that with his own head, doesn't he? She does that in season 1. She does that in season 1.
Yeah, people forget that she has killed people this entire granted, we sympathize with her because she's a child, which her history, what she's gone through. But it would look. I honestly agree with you, Toonie. I think it's the whole thing. But to me, I think the biggest is the betrayal of having somebody that she finally feels like has that connection, whether it be a older brother, a father figure that she trusts, and to be seen that she's been used for it. I think that to me is the pinpoint of where she's feels the worst out of it. Granted, losing everybody else and seeing the massacre and stuff, yes, that's gonna fuck anybody up. But I think her personally having that betrayal, because I think she was trying to fit him into where she thought Brenner should have been.
I literally wrote down while Toonie was talking about all the stuff, and you just summarized my sentence up. Literally, I said, realizing later she was manipulated and used.
Yeah. What about you, Toxic?
I mean, I don't necessarily disagree with any of those points as far as that goes. I definitely think that they've I wonder if they had this idea. I guess they didn't, right? Because we established a long time ago that they thought originally they were going to do a one-off and then do something different. But I'm not against that. I'm not against, I'm writing a sequel to one of my books right now, and I'm having to kind of like tie in stuff that happened in earlier events with stuff that's happening now. So I don't necessarily have a problem with it. I think it's a cool little Easter. I think people are going a little too far in the fandom, going, oh, look, if you really look close in season 1, you can see Vecna's shadow. And I'm like, I'm not so sure about.
They wouldn't have thought about it that far back.
Unless they went back and retconned it themselves. Like, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Netflix would do that. But no, because season 1 was supposed to be season 1 and done. They didn't expect.
There's a bunch of it. It's a huge rabbit hole you can go down that I've unfortunately done on TikTok and Reddit and stuff, which is basically like, oh, you can hear the ticking of the clock in the earlier seasons. I'm like, I think you're kind of reaching a little bit.
So I know that they had the idea of Vecna since season 1, but I don't think that they went into that type of detail.
Can you back that up with anything? Because the trivia that I got, and it's been well established, they thought they were going to do an anthology series and do something completely different, and were surprised at the success, and then had to scramble to come up with a season 2. So are you sure about that?
I'm not 110% sure, but I know that they were thinking about doing a spin-off series with 8, but due to the reception of that, they backtracked. So
I'd have to look it up, but I used to do trivia tracks, and I would still, but I didn't have time, and I'm sorry.
No, I'm not trying to dissuade you, but I thought they said something, and I'm just thinking in my mind, I know that they said that they had an idea of Vecna or something like that
since season 3.
I don't think it was very developed.
I think both things can be true at once. I think you can have lots of ideas for story, and some little things don't get used, and then later you can pop them in there or whatever. But I think it's pretty well established. They were under the impression if they did get a season 2, they'd do an anthology series, but they were pressured to bring the kids back and keep continuing the story. Isn't that right, Nadia, or am I wrong?
Yeah, season 1, it was a complete one-off on its own. There was no thought of Vecna in season 1. Season 1 was supposed to be a one and done show. They were going to move on to something else. Then they approached Netflix about coming back and maybe just doing it like an anthology series where it would be different stories, but set in the Stranger Things world. But because of how popular the first season was, Netflix wanted them to bring back the kids. So they continue with season 2, which season 2, if you look at season 2, is similar to season 1. It's the consequences of season 1. It's not till season 3 is where we get the speed up with the Mind Flayer. I know he's in season 2, but we get the speed up with the Mind Flayer and Vecna comes into play. I think that's where they were thinking of it. But yeah, season 1 was supposed to be a one and done of it.
I think it was season 2 that they said that they were thinking about Vecna.
It's either season 2 or 3 because I believe Vecna and the Mind Flayer were both brought up as ideas. And looking back at it, I always thought Vecna was the like end boss, but I guess Vecna is, in a sense, and we learned through this episode because I must have missed it, that he's actually just the Mind Flayer's general.
5-star general is what does.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're right on
I don't
that,
want to spoil anything, but see, the final episode does give a little bit more clarity.
Yeah, we don't want to spoil it for you, Toonie.
I'm not trying to spoil anything, but I'm just saying upon rewatch, I noticed in the final episode they do give a little bit of clarity to that.
Okay. But yeah, I honestly I would have liked the anthology series, but Netflix was as fear with like the whole Halloween IP, where Halloween 1 and 2 take place in the same night. Halloween 3 is the season of the witch because they're like, hey, we're gonna do something different. We're gonna make this an anthology series.
Underrated sequel.
It is.
Underrated sequel.
And honestly, don't watch VHS Halloween. Watch just Halloween Season of the Witch. That's a better interpretation of like the feeling of Halloween and stuff. But yeah,
maybe they saw American Horror Story and were like, we're not gonna do that.
Oh, American Horror Story. That's a rough one. Okay, so Vecna's leading her to escape, and she wants him to go with, and he's like, hey, I can't go with you. I've got this thing in my neck. And she's like, you know what? You helped me. I'm gonna help you. I'm going to remove that for you. I get it. People are like, why isn't she asking questions? She's 9 years old. People again need to remember she's 9 years old. She's this is simple.
Yeah, so I mean, like people are thinking to themselves like, well, why would she ask him? And I was just like, well, as much as she looks like an adult endowed, like, you know, she is a child, which I'm actually pretty happy that they didn't try to like make her look like a kid during the entire, because basically she is reliving her memories. And whenever you think, I mean, like 11 is going through like a dreamlike state in that entire thing with the see, the funny thing was that when she was put into the giant like
Nina,
like they were playing footage, and when I first watched it again, I just like, wait, how do they have all this footage? And it's just like, oh, it's surveillance footage. So basically to remind her. And I like the fact that they kept her like the age she was in, even though a lot of people are like, she's got boobs, and I'm just like, okay, just stop looking at them.
I mean, she's a woman. She's hit. Yeah, I mean, by the time season 5 comes out, now she's married and has a kid on top of it too. So,
well, I mean, adopted kid, but you know,
still,
whatever.
I mean, she's a mom. Yeah. So like they're all entering adulthood. So I get it. They were trying to, and you can even see it with a couple of her clothing choices throughout this season. They binded her chest down to kind of give the illusion that she was still younger on it.
Well, hopefully not as much as Bella Ramsey, but
Bella Ramsey was, but so Vecna here, Peter, whatever we want to call him, says, hey, you escape, hang tight, I'll meet you out there. I got some stuff to take care of, basically. And he goes on a killing spree. She goes with him, and she watches as this guy just massacres, and she realizes, what the fuck? How does this dude have powers? Like, where did this come from? Realizing
you realize that's probably the thing in his neck that's for that. Because wait, is there a reason? I forget. Is there a reason why they is it because he said he won't fit through the pipe? Is that why they said they didn't go that way?
He said, I wouldn't fit through the pipe, but even if I was able to go with you, Brenner would always find me because of this in my neck.
Yeah.
And that's, Yeah, and she had to have it removed. So 11 confronts him after he's basically massacred all the children here, and he is trying to tell her, like, hey, could you please, not please, but I want you to be my left-handed woman or right-handed woman. We would be able to take over the world in a sense. Nobody would be able to stop us. And she decides that she does not want to go with him, and with all her might, they kind of fight in an intense psychic battle, and she channels her anger, her pain, her love, whatever, and overpowers him and sends him to the Upside Down.
Keep in mind, people, it's more Darth Vader and Luke, not Kylo Ren and Rey.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Way more Darth Vader.
There's less sexual tension.
Yeah.
Yes.
I do actually find it weird that how different he looks in these scenes, like that, for example, that shot that, like how different he actually. It almost looks like he's played by a different actor. Almost just the different expressions that he's got going on.
He can contort his face very well.
Yeah. Blue Collar's
he's very good at
that. If they wanted Vecna in season 1, he would have been there. Clearly, it was added later. Yeah, I mean, it's like the stuff with Marvel. I mean, yeah, they knew they were building up the universe.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing at what Bobby said. She's gonna be a dad.
I'm gonna be a dad. I'm gonna be a dad.
Toxic said he's excited for season 3. He's
no, I did not say that. No, I did not say that.
He is so excited about it.
Potato.
I'm really sick of showrunners knowing how shit their show is and trying to thrive off of memes. They knew what they wrote when they made us say that. They knew it had nothing to do with us. Not nothing to do with the story, but it was everything to do with the shit story. They knew that it was a shit line. They knew that it wasn't going to sell well.
Not to derail our stream, because we covered both season 1 and 2 on this channel. Season 1 is pretty good. I get it. People got a problem with Pedro Pascal. People got a problem with Bella Ramsey. Pedro Pascal he's a decent actor. He's you got to blame the casting. People are just overcasting him. You can't. He's taking a paycheck. The dude's been in the industry since he was a teenager. So it is what it is. But for Bella Ramsey, she was wrongly casted as Elle. She played off him very well in the first season. I'd give her that. Second season on her own, she doesn't know how to carry the show because she didn't have anybody experienced to bounce off of.
I'm big.
So she's. If you watch her in season 1, she's very competent about how she handles guns, the character and stuff. She doesn't age as there's no age difference between season 1 and season 2. It's just the hairstyle that they utilize.
Which is the big problem, because it's when you have someone in season 1 and they're bratty, you can go, well, they're precocious. They're a brat, but they're a kid. But when you get to be 17, 18, then you're like, look, you're just an asshole. I don't want to deal with you. You're a freaking asshole. And
Blue played the game recently again, Last of Us 2 again, and he was messaging everybody that about how the difference in it, and that it's still there's still good elements of the story, but she was just wrongly casted in it. Reverse, I would have liked Abby, the actress playing Abby as Elle. I think she would have been way better, I think, in it. And again, Caitlin has experience in the industry. She's been acting for a very long time. Bella has not. Bella is just being casted because she's now, I hate to use this word, Hollywood's it girl at the time. They used her from Game of Thrones. So again, she's taking a paycheck. She's just not experienced.
Kaylee Spaney not being the main character is the biggest injustice. And you know what? It works the other way too, because I just saw a meme or something recently in the Critical Drinker group where it was some real life documentary that they're doing on Netflix about some British, I don't know, young girl who is a dead ringer for Bella Ramsey. And they gave it to the chick that plays Silver Surfer and everything else lately.
Julia Garner, not
Julia
again.
Garner. Yeah, see, that's the thing. You guys, you don't think of this because you don't remember it because they shortstop it, but Hollywood always tries to push people down your throat. You believe it or not, there was a time when the main character, the main dude from Avatar, they were putting his ass in everything, and then it just kept flopping. Now, if you put a same dude in everything, and the movies do
which
well,
guy who played Avatar,
the main Avatar,
Tim Worthington.
Yes,
Yeah.
Worthington, Sam Worthington.
Okay, yeah, I was thinking of Avatar: The Last Airbender, and I was just like, which?
No, I don't.
No.
Yeah, I'm
pretty
Toxic doesn't do anime or live action
No,
versions of anime,
no.
so no. I agree with you,
Sam
Toxic.
Worthington was thrown
But people
in everyone's face for a bit.
people blame the actor, which again, most of these people say some stupid shit on the red carpet. I'm not denying that, but these people, at the end of the day, this is their job. They're going to take whatever comes their way that they know. So it is the casting directors who are like, well, who's popular right now?
Right.
The girl from Game of Thrones season 8
Right.
that everybody loved, even though that was a shit season. So let's put her in that. Or she might even have a contract obligation with HBO saying like, hey, I'll be in Game of Thrones, but you got to be on 2 additional HBO projects. So,
they will always do that. They will always do that until it doesn't make money anymore.
Yeah.
Like, listen, everybody loves Chris Pratt, but they put Chris Pratt in too much shit. I'm just gonna be honest. Look at what's her name from this show? Shit, now I forgot her name.
Millie Bob
Brown. Yeah.
Yeah.
Millie Bob Thornton. That's funny. Millie Bobby Brown. If you guys have Netflix, and I'm assuming that you do, you know she's in every other fucking Netflix movie that they come out with. Damsel and young female
Electric State, I think.
Electric State, young female Sherlock Holmes and Nola Holmes or whatever. They put her like in every other thing that they have. So
to be fair, I mean, like those movies that she's been in, aside from Sherlock Holmes, because I never really paid attention to those were kind of made with a girl boss mentality behind her.
It is a girl boss mentality, but they could have casted any leading female. The reason they probably casted her is she's probably in contract with Netflix to do certain projects. She's obligated to do so.
That's why Bella Ramsey keeps getting HBO products. She's an HBO person.
Yeah, she's obligated for these things.
Right.
Yeah. So the way I try to explain it in terms of the whole like should Pedro Pascal be getting as many roles as he does thing, it's like, well, yes, because he is a great actor, but I don't think he's getting all the roles because he's a great actor. I think it's because he's such a big name. It's because everyone talks about him. It's like, well, you see the amount of people that aren't as good as actors as.
We didn't have social media in the 90s, but in the 90s, we did have Entertainment Weekly magazine and Movie Star and
17
Cinescape and things like that. So people knew that Antonio Banderas was in too much shit. Like he was popping up from the early to the late 90s. Antonio Banderas was in everything, and people were sick of him. They were just like, dude, and then there was like a lull where like he wasn't in anything for a while, and then he started popping up just doing, like cartoon characters, and then now he does like, the older statesman characters, and that's what's going to happen with these kids. I mean, look at, who's it? Mike, right? What's Mike's real name?
Finn Wolfhard.
Finn Wolfhard was cute in season 1 and people liked him. He was precocious, but now he's kind of gross and people are just like, I don't like you.
And by the way, he's a smart kid. He's putting his money behind the camera. He's trying to learn how to do things behind the camera, which a lot of these kids don't do.
But they tried to put him in a bunch of stuff too. They put him in the Ghostbusters franchise. He was in a bunch of horror movies and things. And they were just like, and people were like, I don't like it. It, of course. Well, I mean, okay. Well, to be fair, he was really good in it. I mean,
I was gonna say it was one of the good ones.
I mean, I think Ghostbusters is a little bit of a. Sony is basically throwing shit at the wall where they don't really have a lot of good properties right now. And then basically, like what they did was they did the reboot of Ghostbusters in 2016, and they were just like, oh, damn, that doesn't work. And they were like, oh, we got to pander back to what was the original stuff. And it's just like, well, throw in the kid from Stranger Things. Also, put in Paul Rudd. He's funny. Well, and, the most recent movie was pretty bad.
Well, a lot of these studios are required to resurface these IPs so that they can hold on to the rights of them. If they don't, they're sometimes required, similar to like Marvel that Sony owns, they are required to utilize it. Otherwise, they lose it. So that's why every couple of years you see some of these IPs being refreshed with another one in there. And it's because these studios have to do it, sometimes obligated to do it. And otherwise they lose the rights and it goes up for grabs for it. I mean, the horror community sees this with Jason. We see this with Freddy. We've seen this with a bunch of horror IPs that are in like people don't even to give it a simple example. Friday the 13th, Jason Voorhees are two different IPs. That's why when you go to Halloween Horror Nights this year down in Orlando, it's not called the Friday the 13th house. It's called the Jason Voorhees experience because they don't have the rights to use Friday the 13th. They have the rights to use Jason Voorhees. But yeah, it's going through IP. But yeah, I like Bella. I get it. We covered season 2. I don't want to like everybody makes fun of her looks. I get it. She looks like a potato. Everybody, I look like a potato.
Well,
sometimes.
she just doesn't look like or act like Ellie from the game.
True. She's wrongly casted, and that's on the casting director, and that's on HBO, not so much on her. Take away the stupid shit she might say. It's still on them for it. But let's get back to Stranger Things because we're almost at 2 hours and we still got Hawkins to go through.
Yeah.
So
I do want to ask a question, Nads. What was your opinion on the Michael Bay produced Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street?
The remake of Friday the 13th?
Yeah, and Nightmare on Elm Street.
Nightmare on Elm Street. Yeah, I don't like Nightmare on Elm Street. I don't like the whole like kitty diddling kind of storyline they were pushing in that one. It just didn't work.
You mean the guy that played Rorschach in
Watchmen? But they completely destroyed Freddy's actual lore in that movie. Friday the 13th, I actually think is not a half bad remake of into the franchise. I mean, there have been worse with Halloween and such, but yeah.
I just want to know your opinion because I know that a lot of people are divided on that.
Nightmare on Elm Street, I would never watch the remake, but I would actually recommend the Friday the 13th remake to younger generations because I know the older stuff I grew up with, but it's hard to watch that stuff if you didn't grow up with it. The suspense that we're so used to and the horror that we're used to would not hit with younger generations unless you're like into films and stuff. But all right, let's get back to this. So 11 in 1 have the complete showdown. This is the reveal. We start to get the background story of Vecna in here. It overlaps with Hawkins here. So we're going to move on. Load of baked potato. Thank you, Bobby.
Yeah, we get his version of the backstory his
okay, Bobby, you need to go into the corner and think about what you said.
Bobby's an OG. He knows it. The other day he was just laying down plant facts or tree facts in my stream, so he's good.
So he knows his potatoes then. Fair enough.
Yeah.
I was not a fan of the CGI of the scene, by the way. I'm not gonna lie. It looks like something out of a really bad Doctor Who episode, not gonna lie.
It does, or a bad video game, to be honest.
Yeah,
it looks very video game.
To be fair, Netflix doesn't really produce the best CGI, so
up to this point, it hasn't been bad with the rewatch in this, especially with the mind flare. It worked pretty well, but this is rough.
It was bad.
Yeah,
it was bad.
I guess the fact is that we really with CGI haven't gotten good with humans and stuff like that. Although people will argue, well, what about AI? And I'm like, well, what about it?
Well, sorry, go ahead, Toonie.
This looks like the Disney version of A Christmas Carol. That's what the CGI looks like.
The problem here is because they didn't use an actual actor and did prosthetics and then did CGI over it. This is completely CGI rendered from start to finish. They didn't use a body. So when you put a body in front of a camera, then add CGI on top of it, I bet it would look 10 times better versus them rendering this completely from ground up in the computer system.
It sort of reminds me of Grendel from the Beowulf movie.
Yes.
That was another thing I was thinking of. Yeah, it does kind of look like Beowulf a little bit, but I feel like even Beowulf looked better than this.
All right, we're gonna
We're
gonna move on to Hawkins because again we're gonna continue with Vecna, but we'll get to it because he does play an important part in it. So last we left off, Steve was in the Upside Down. He went through the Watergate. The kids are being pulled and interrogated by the police and their parents on Max, Lucas, and Dustin. Which, by the way, Erica's no help whatsoever. And again, you can't spell America without Erica. Erica's like, this is bullshit. They're lying to you. And
Erica!
He's like, what? I'm telling the truth.
This entire part was so funny.
Yes.
I loved it. Yep, I loved it.
The guy.
It's the relief that we need in this episode. How long this episode is between the massacre, Vecna, the upside down. This is the point where the audience can kind of like take a break, rest. We're not on to tense.
Yeah, I love how you can kind of analyze the way the characters are sitting to sort of what their interrogation strategy is. You've got Dustin, who's like absolutely like hugging his pillow, and then the two people either side of him are just trying to be as like relaxed and stoic as possible. You've got Max, who's sort of like quite annoyed, but she sort of knows to keep her mouth shut, otherwise, without saying anything that might incriminate her.
Can I comment on the fact that Lucas got a haircut prior to the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air?
Well, that's the style from the 80s back then, right? Toxic, you're an 80s kid. That would be a style of hair. He's probably wearing it.
Yeah,
that's a style of hair.
Yes.
Yeah.
No. Maybe he's getting a visit from Vecna. That's what that is.
I thought you were going to say it looks fresh.
He's bent out of shape right now.
Yeah. I would too if I had a younger sister like Erica, too, who's calling it out in front of my parents. This is a later shot of the kids eventually escaping, but I didn't have a clear shot of the parents, which Ted back there. What a useless piece of shit, the entire interrogation.
I mean, these are all the same facial expressions throughout the interrogation anyway, aren't they? Like...
It is, but
it's the government. We need to trust them.
Mike's dad, he's like, you guys are lucky. I'm like, what's going on, dude?
Sometimes I start to wonder whether or not Ted's actually supposed to be in the show and he's not just a guy that keep filming in the house.
I want the end of this show to at least be his dad gets eviscerated. Like, please, can he just get ripped apart by something? Like, why are we losing good characters like Bob and Barb and other people I won't name? And then the dad keeps fucking making it through each season. Like, I want to see him ripped to shreds, please.
I was talking about Hopper's plot armor before. They should put this guy in the prison.
Plot armor is crazy. His plot armor is
almost on the camp of with Holly Wheeler, the mother. I'm almost in the mindset of I can fix her type mentality.
Billy couldn't fix her, so I don't think anybody can fix her.
No, I can. I'm not the bad boy type, but I'd just be like, Holly, like you're living with a scumbag dude.
Holly's Mike's younger sister. This is not Holly. This is just Mrs. Wheeler. I don't think did we learn her first name? Holly is the younger sister.
I don't know if we ever learned Mrs. Wheeler's name.
I don't think we do.
Yeah.
Huh.
So go on.
Okay, so now that puts it in a lot of perspective because I did not realize that Miss Nancy Mrs.
Wheeler.
Okay, so now I'm a little bit more intrigued by season 5.
It just put together the vanishing of Holly Wheeler. Yeah.
No, I thought it was the mother, and I just was like, really? And then I just was like, oh.
There's if you watch the trailer for Volume 1 or the trailer that they released a couple months, there's a scene where Mrs. Wheeler here is holding on to Holly, I think in a tub or underwater in some way, and there's something happening above, and I think that's from that episode. I would assume so.
Oh, okay. Like now that intrigues me a lot more.
Yeah, Ted's plot armor is so strong that he's made it 4 seasons. He's made 4 seasons and still doesn't even know that anything weird's going on.
Yeah. Where Mrs. Wheeler, I've said this before, she's picked up on, like, she might not know about the upside down and the crazy shit that's happening, but she knows something's going on with her kids. There's something wrong happening here.
She didn't know the details. It's a bit like Erica almost, except for without the proactivity to ask the kids about alien dimensional stuff. It's a bit like Erica was able to piece together that some of what's going on, that with all these is like, something abnormal is going on, that these kids are always trying to escape and do stuff, and it's not normal kid stuff. It's like that, it's not Karen Wheeler, is it?
It might be Karen Wheeler.
Oh,
you know what?
Karen.
It is Karen Wheeler. Yep,
Does
you're
he
right.
say it? Does he say it in Toxic's favorite clip?
Don't do that.
Let's see.
Afternoon, ladies.
Afternoon, Billy.
Take the new suit, Mrs. Wheeler.
Thank you.
Come on, man.
Sorry.
I like the new
You know,
suit,
I
Mrs.
wasn't
Wheeler
gonna
as
bring
well.
this up, but I super chat you, and then you play that freaking clip, man. That's not cool.
But yeah, but back to the point. She is. It's a bit like Erica in that she is putting together that. She didn't know this percentage, but she knows with all like the disappearances and everything. Every time there's some kind of government plot going on or there's disappearances, the kids are always somehow involved. She's like, that's no coincidence.
Yeah.
See, as funny as it is, I don't really buy Erica's reaction in this episode because I'm like, dude, you've already been part of the Scooby Gang with this. Why are you dry snitching? Like, why?
Yeah, why are you outing them?
She's not keeping it very street. This whole, I mean, it's a funny, cute scene, but at the same time, it's just like you've already been part of this stuff. She was in the season 3 stuff.
To be fair, she's already been dismissed a number of times in this season, like with the scene where she said it's not a cult, it's basically just a game and whatever.
Yeah, it's a game for nerds. It's a club for it's a club for nerds. It's like a game for nerds, is what she said in the main character speech. But also, I do think that Erica was always deliberately preparing to snitch on them, in that she was getting the cards together so that she could bribe them all into letting her in on the details. Because I feel like that's exactly what Erica would do.
Now, while the kids are being interrogated, the younger, the older kids, Steve, Eddie, Nancy, and Robin here are in the Upside Down. Eddie, Nancy, and Robin decide to follow Steve through the water gate, and they're the ones that actually do save him from the demo bats that were attacking them. They decide, instead of going back through the water gate because it's protected and guarded by those demo bats, they're outnumbered. They're gonna run to the forest and figure out a way out of the year. There's big context clues that we get through this. They eventually, I like how Dustin goes, they're not dumb enough to go through that. Nah, they wouldn't go without us. And turns out they are. So Nancy says, hey, I bet you were happy about this, Toxic. I was thinking about you when she said it. She's like, okay, we need weapons. If this is supposed to be the Robin brings up, if this is supposed to be our thing, shouldn't we go to the police station and find bombs and stuff? And Nancy's like, well, I've got 2 guns at the house.
3.
3. Sorry, 3 guns at the house.
Well, also the police station would have more, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Then again, the police station is likely to be like locked or boarded up in this.
Yeah.
World. Like,
you don't want to, if you're trying to get guns, go with, and that's a good rule with guns, is go with the ones that you know. Don't go with the ones that you don't know, because you're always playing a risk. You don't know what's happened to them. And you go to a police station, 99%, even in the 80s, they're all locked up, or they've got different kind of. If Nancy knows that she's got a shotgun and 2 pistols, just go after those.
My girl. I was like, hell yeah, Nancy. Fuck yeah, let's go. And
unfortunately, she doesn't understand the science of the upside down at that point. But I mean,
nobody did, because nobody understand the time travel. Yeah, that was a reveal.
This was a big reveal on it. When they get to the house and she's looking for the guns, she can't find them. She's looking through her diary. Yeah, and she finds out the upside down is time frozen since the night that Will disappeared.
The night that it's time frozen. I thought I wasn't sure if it was time frozen or if it was some kind of like you go through certain portals, you time travel or something like that. I wasn't quite sure how that worked.
No.
At this point in this episode, it is frozen in time. Like we are frozen at the moment that Will does go disappearing into the upside down. They also are trying to go ahead, Rachel. Go ahead.
No, because you played D&D. So my boyfriend pointed out that like when we were watching this, that the 4 of them on the group reminded him of also a D&D group of being like I wrote it down, the warrior, the cleric, the rogue, the mage, and the bard. And he was like saying that each one was like doing like what Steve is the warrior and Nancy is, what was Nancy? I think Nancy was Nancy the cleric? Nancy was a cleric. He nods his head. Yep.
Yep.
Are you referring to Erica?
No. These four right here.
These four.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I was just wondering if it reminded you of it as well.
I'd love to play a game of D&D,
reminds
but
me of D&D.
Yeah, I mean, it should do, because the whole thing is based around D&D, isn't it? Like a lot of the imagery of it.
We'll go out for milk and smokes.
Yeah. In this episode, he did. Yeah.
Well, they figure out a way to communicate with Dustin and Lucas. While Dustin, at the same time, is figuring out Vecna's motives. That while they found the Watergate where the basketball kid passed away, then maybe they would find other gates at the other murder sites of it. At the same time, these guys are communicating with through lights, and they eventually, what is that toy? I've had it, and I can't remember what it is.
Light bright.
Light bright, yeah.
And that's my number one. My number 2 thing is that I wrote down. The light bright wouldn't work like that. The engineer said so. He's like, nope, it wouldn't work like that.
I mean, I don't think the upside down exists. So unless we do exist on different planes, and now we're got to think about portals in different planes of existence.
Yeah.
Now that's going to be a longer stream, but okay, let's we'll give a little bit of leeway on this one.
Can I just say how much I didn't like the fact that when Steve was being eaten alive by bats and choked to death, Robin took the time to, was it Robin or Nancy that took the time to like quip in one line, like before she saved him? It's like she stood there and was like, "Hey there," and then like not the bat.
It was Nancy. It was Nancy. I think that said "Hey there." Yeah.
I was like, everyone loves a one-liner, but you got to time it right. The guy's being eaten alive. Could you please hurry the fuck up?
You watch your dirty mouth, Limey.
Look,
Nancy can do no wrong. Nancy, I will not hear any disparaging.
Are they attracted to sound, or I don't know?
They're unattracted to a bat to the face, so I don't know. It's again, I just find the final line funny when Steve says, "Oh, they took about a pound of flesh," and I'm like, "Yeah, half of it was when Nancy was one-lining."
What's up, Shinos?
It's like, yeah, I mean, again, everyone loves a one-liner, and when you try to do an action scene, people, like to do one-liners in action scenes, and I get that's supposed to be like her moment of saving him, but I'm like, the guy's being eaten alive. It's
is he being eaten alive? And he's all right. He walked it off. It
was a little nibble.
It was a pound of flesh. It's not a lot.
And besides, one-liners are very popular in the 80s, right? Toxic during media. I've never seen movies, so I don't know.
No, they're popular now.
Yeah, one-liners.
You know how many of my squad mates got extra riddled with bullets because I stopped to say a one-liner before I saved them. But I saved them. I mean, that's what matters. So some of them are in wheelchairs now, but I got to get my one-liner and they're still alive. So that's how that works. So if I have to come save you sometime, Tooney, which might happen with your government, I'm going to say a one-liner before I rescue you. So.
Oof. Yeah, that's true.
As long as it's just the one line. What a screenshot! What is this screenshot? bro, it looks like one of those YouTube edits, like the what do they call, like the warp effects.
I'm trying to find.
What is this?
Where is?
It's like if Destin had his sex tape exposed.
Now they're looking.
They're looking at.
Everybody's tuned in here for entertainment and
Stranger Things with Candy.
I'm sorry, I had to say it because both of them are laughing. And he's just like, ah.
I want to find that shot. Hold on one second.
They found Millie Bobby Brown and Drake's sex tape, and that's what they're looking at right now.
Oh Jesus!
No, it's like Dustin's absolutely mortified that somebody recorded his sing-along to Neverending Story with Susie, and they're just enjoying it. And he's like, "Why do you guys record
it?" You hear it here, folks. We're just we're classing it up here. Okay, so the kids basically send the information over to the other group that, hey, meet us at a different gate. So they're going to meet them at the trailer park where Chrissy died, and meet them over there. So the kids head out. This is a great shot. However, I actually do have it, and I know I'm going to be dinged, but that's okay. It's all right. Let's go. Here we go.
No copyright at all. It's impossible. It can't happen.
I do love that shot of like all the bikes. It's sort of like the ET, but ET didn't have the lights on the bikes.
Yeah.
Now, somebody who's played D&D will have to tell me this, but I wonder if the different classes and roles that they're supposed to reflect in D&D are actually matched up with the positions of the characters in the Upside Down world to the real world. Like, you've got Dustin, who's like the second in that row, and then when it flips up to, is it Steve in that? I don't know who's it. Surely it would be Lucas, who's supposed to be the warrior.
I think.
Oh,
here we go. So it goes Nancy, Steve, Robin, and Eddie, and then we get Max, Dustin, Lucas with Eddie, and then it would be Robin and Erica. Yeah. Yeah.
So maybe it is, if somebody wants to figure out what classes of what D&D classes it'll be, like maybe that matches up.
Well, so either Steve is so here's the thing. I feel like Nancy could also be a warrior or a barbarian in a sense. That's a class.
I would say, if from what I know of D&D, which is just the cartoon, I would say Nancy would be the ranger. Steve would be the paladin. What's her name? Gay Ethan Hawke daughter would be
Robin.
Thief.
Robin.
And then Eddie would be the jester or whatever.
There's no jester.
Bard,
it would be a
the
bard.
The bard.
But I feel actually Steve would be more so a warrior or a bard. And Robin would probably be some sort of healer, some sort of healer type.
Like
or Robin honestly could probably be a bard. A paladin depends if you break your oath. A paladin is like they follow a certain oath and trajectory, and if you break it, you're an oath breaker. And I'm probably butchering this because it's been a while since I've played D&D, but I don't see him really as a paladin.
That tracks too, because remember he had that big change-a-rooney in his. He was originally just big man on campus and big man Steve in season 1, and then he broke his oath and became one of the outcast kids.
Usually with a party, you want a tank, you want a range, you want a healer, and you want a magic caster. Sometimes those can overlap, but yeah, usually that's you want the so. More than likely, you got your ranger, your tank.
Tank?
Yeah,
maybe
the tank is the person that stands in front of the baddie and keeps the attention on you. So
Nadia, were you a fan of the Dungeons and Dragons
video games
that came out a couple of years ago?
Was I what? The movie?
Yeah, were you a fan of it?
Yes. I think it's actually pretty well done and I like the fact that it was on sets, not mostly CGI background for it. So
yeah, because I've heard a lot of people talk about how it actually is pretty decent.
It is. It's a really cute movie. It's a positive storyline about fatherhood. I think a lot of people didn't go see it, especially because of the other previous D&D movies were trash. And this one was marketed very poorly. So I think that's why a lot of people decided not to see it.
Yeah, well, it basically was very, cartoony looking.
So I have this clip. So they do eventually make it. They make it to the trailer park. They see the big hole in the ceiling. The kids smash through it and they see each other, and it's kind of trippy. But I think I have a clip from it.
Do I have to be right on the money before you guys just trust me?
Jesus Christ, this kid's got to get his ego in check. It's his tone, right? I know.
Oh, that was previously. Sorry. I think maybe.
I don't know what the stains are.
Yes, talking about the stains on his thing. Baldur's 3 is amazing. Yep. I've played an evil paladin. Yeah.
I gotta say, Dustin and Steve are my spirit animals in this show.
Yeah, I've got to say, I've also from that last screenshot, I found my new reaction image. Just I posted the group chat as well. It's just Eddie. Eddie's just dead stare into the upper atmosphere. I don't know if you're more than welcome to pull the image up, by the way, if you I don't know if you want to, but it's that in the last screenshot, Eddie's just lifeless stare into the upper atmosphere. Yeah, I'm gonna keep that image.
Also, but I think we've rushed past this point. There's something really important we have to discuss. Eddie and Steve's heart to heart about how Eddie tells him that, you know, that's real love there, man. Wouldn't, you know,
I kind of felt like that was a little forced, though. I'm not going to lie. Like, I'm glad it for the character development because it shows how humble Eddie is. Because previous to this, like, we'd see him, like, we originally see him when we meet him, and he's like really bombastic, and he's like, he's a senior, he's got his own Dungeon Dragon club and all that kind of stuff, and you know, he's kind of sticking it to the jocks and the straights and all that, and you like him for that. It's kind of funny, but then what happens to Chrissy happens, and he goes into hiding, and then he just wants to hide and stay away from the stuff, but he decides to get on the adventure. And I do like that he says, you know, hey, I'm not a hero. I only jumped in because these girls jumped in. I didn't really feel like it needed the extra, hey, she really came in right after you, bro, just so you know. Like, I feel like they're telegraphing that just a little
I can
too
see
much.
that.
Yeah, I see what you mean. But
my only defense against that would be the fact that, you know, Steve has kind of been shit on in the last season or so.
The last 2 seasons.
Yeah.
The baby.
And I think the fact is that Eddie is just basically saying to him, like, what you're looking for is basically right in front of you, dude.
Yeah,
like,
but he's saying it. He's not showing it. I prefer show, don't tell. Like, we don't need that. We don't need that kind of exposition dump like that.
Well,
and listen,
to be fair,
he did it again. He did it again. Nadia,
okay.
hit the clip.
Okay.
To be fair.
Oh, don't say to be fair. Hate when people say to be fair.
Oh, to be fair.
To be fair.
To be fair.
To be fair.
This is Chris's favorite show, by the way. One of his favorite shows.
To be fair. To be fair.
To be fair.
To be fair. To be
All right, that's good.
What show is that?
Letterkenny, you've never seen it? First couple seasons are great. Well, that's all right.
Good.
Shorzy's good too. Shorzy's pretty good.
Yeah, Shorzy's even better.
Yeah.
But no, it's guys don't talk like that, Nadia. We don't talk to each other that way.
I know.
We don't say, hey, bro, she really loves you, man.
I understand.
We don't say shit like that.
I'm with you. I think it needs to be shown, and it was starting to be shown throughout the last 2 episodes. The way they both take glances at each other, the way that even when they were hiding under the rocks and she was pushed up against him, like there were little telltale signs that you could see that they both were starting to really dig each other again or something. So I agree with you. I think it was more so adding to Eddie's character, not so much the romance between those two, but I agree. It could have. It didn't need it, but it was all right. Like I didn't really hate it.
Well, the guy that plays Eddie is a really good actor, so I'll forgive him a lot. I mean, and it's not like he's disingenuous. It's just it's the writing and it's the pacing of it. Like it really slows down the scene and it doesn't need to, and it adds exposition. Like we as the audience, we know this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not necessary for you to like fumble it like that with it. You know, I would have written it differently had it been me. I mean, there's nothing wrong with the acting in it. It's just, and they use this clip a lot in YouTube.
I will ask whoever, what is it, Shin Oski? Okay, if you're wandering around Wasteland and trying to find a point of interest, like, what are you gonna do on that, you know, trek? Like, just say nothing to anybody else?
He's kind of right, because they kind of break their own lore in this, because Vecna is supposed to be attached to everything in the Upside Down, and that's why they're not touching the vines, which, by the way, plot armor, coincidentally, they're writing the books. There's no vines on the roads or anything like that they have to ride over.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who was it that brought up in a previous stream? I think it was Nick. Said, why is in the later season, like in the first season, they're having to wear hazmat stuff and respirators, and why are they just fucking dilly-dallying around and walking around in it and breathing that shit in now?
Well, I think the reason is that they thought it was hazardous, but it actually isn't.
Well, actually, we don't know if it's hazardous or not. It could be revealed in season 5 because Steve actually says something about it in this episode. He's like, I'm breathing in this shit. Well, not that to that extent, but when they're entering the Wheeler house, he says something to that extent. Yeah, I agree with
we
you.
need to get out of it. We need to get out of there quickly because we don't know if this stuff is toxic or something like that, right? He says something like that.
Which is a continuity issue because last season, even with season 3, when they were in the tunnels, they were all making sure that they could mask up or in a sense, have something over their mouths. Yeah,
I mean, it's basically the whole same thing of what happens in what was it, the 2014 Godzilla movie, where it's just like, oh, we have to wear like these protective suits, and it's just like, it's actually not that contaminated.
Yeah, but also the suits are done in a government-run lab, so obviously they are going to have suits. The average civilian dealing with this kind of stuff is not going to have a has suit in the back. And on top of it, they all ran after Steve because he got pulled in. This was not expected for them to end up in the Upside Down.
Think of the E.T. movie. They all came in with hazmat suits. And
yes, but that's the government. That's
not I know.
Normal civilians.
It's just the fact is that is what they thought, but it's not contaminated.
Right,
but you're basing this off of, again, government-based characters that have these things.
Right.
Kids aren't going to have them.
Well, I mean, set that aside for a second. That's lamp shading the plot. That's when you lamp shade the plot, because it's like saying, well, I think because this other movie or this other TV show said this, then I mean, we're not supposed to be writing the show for them. That like you're not supposed to be able to headcanon your own thing. Either just write a line of dialogue and explain it, or it's a plot hole. I mean, it can't be both.
It could be
got to be one or the other.
It could be a plot hole, like you said. It is notorious. The show is notorious for plot holes and Sketch will tell you, because we talked about this in season 2 and 3, that there are things that they just kind of left undone. They didn't continue with whatever creature design story they had. So the breathing in the stuff could have been something that they wanted to expand on and they just didn't have time, or it just didn't fit in the narrative too. Or we don't know. It could come back in season 5.
I mean, the real
is what they're breathing in toxic?
It could be. I compare it to what's the stuff that Hopper had to experience during Vietnam?
Agent Orange.
So the storyline of Agent Orange this entire time, where he's like, this is stuff that down the line in his life affected not only him, but his child. This could be something similar. Well, they don't know what they're breathing in. It's a comparison to that.
Well, the real reason is this. The real reason is because at this point in the show, all of these actors are too famous and they're not going to cover their faces up. That's the real reason.
The meta reason for it,
Yeah.
Also because it slows the plot down if they're all like trying to come up with some way. But set that aside for a second. You actually almost stumbled upon a real genius way to explain in the next season why everybody, even after just a few years, is so much older in real life. You could be like, they could have a line of dialogue where they sit and go, man, that upside down world, look what it's done to us. We all look like we're actually like 19 or 20, but we're still only 15 and 16 and 14 and stuff like that.
That's
you know what I mean?
Like, do to you. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't really know if they have that in the cards, because the fact is that with the 4th season, it took a lot longer with the VFX to make them, because
right, but that's my point.
COVID and everything, and then season 5 because of the after strikes. I think it's just more the fact that the government overreacts to whatever it's placed in front of them. I mean, think about what happened with COVID-19. I mean, like, everyone thought that was going to be like, the worst thing ever, and basically, 99% of people were surviving it. So I don't really know if they're gonna like have an explanation about the environment or the totality about the environment of the upside down. So
it could also be explained because there's a ton of comics for this, by the way, guys. Like I went looking, they have tons and tons of volumes of comics for this, and it could be explained. They're also going to be doing an anthology like animation series spinoff for this too. It could be something that they explain later on, but I honestly think it's just a plot hole that either they missed because it was important in season 3 about not breathing in that stuff, or it's related to Hopper's or Code Orange stuff that they had to deal with. But let's get back to the present time with the plot. So the kids.
I do want to just bring up one thing. In season 1, Jonathan and Nancy entered the Upside Down.
Mm-hmm.
Not for a long time, but a brief amount. So I don't really think it affects people. I mean, otherwise, how is Vecna still there? Like,
yes,
how
but,
did he survive?
But Vecna's story, he also has super abilities and stuff like that. Again, I think it could be a comparison because during Vietnam, nobody knew that these chemicals were going to affect later on. You get Hopper's entire story, an episode or two back, of his comrades in Vietnam dealing with this stuff. They were breathing in it and not told, and then they're having kids or miscarriages or kids that are dying early and stuff. So it doesn't have to have an immediate effect, but again, it could just be an empty plot hole.
I get it, but at the same time, it is a parallel universe, and it's just the question is Henry just? I mean, obviously, we've seen how he was affected, like, physically because of his, like throwing through the parallel universe.
But I wouldn't compare Vecna to the average human, though. We've got to also consider that he's got abilities. He's born differently.
It could also be that. It could also be that if he's connected to the Mind Flayer did grant him some kind of immunity to the thing. But also, it just comes down to the fact that like even though the show does have its high points and everything, there are going to be a lot of plot issues that it already has. I'm not saying that it's like a justification. I'm just saying that we know that it already has a lot of this stuff, and it comes down to whether or not you think. They definitely didn't plan for this kind of stuff. So I'm not. We'll have to wait until season 5 comes out to see if they do account for it. But I feel like it's going to be one of those things where they hadn't quite decided which way they wanted to go with it. Do you know what I mean? It's like it's a bit like in the MCU. They did kind of tease that Thanos' motivation was still tied to the comics in that he was trying to court death. They even have a line of dialogue for that, but then they obviously changed it later on, and it kind of doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Like because they hadn't quite decided what they were going to do with it yet, so they changed it halfway through. It's just it's again, a plot hole is a plot hole. But I mean, it's because they haven't ironed out.
This show has the same writers compared to the MCU, so I mean, like the original 2 Avengers movies was done by Joss Whedon, so and then the second 2 were done by the Russo brothers, so hard to say, and especially since the Russo brothers have been with this since the creation, so I really don't know, but I really do have a feeling that the government putting on the hazmat suits was just a precaution. And I think that, I mean, even in the first season, I think.
I don't mean to interrupt, Frostbang. I think we're too focused on that, and we're already at over 2 hours. I don't want to hold everybody for another hour. So let's get through this episode first. And
then... Sorry, Nadia. I just
okay.
was. Go ahead.
It's okay. I just want to focus and get this because I don't want to hold everybody because Tooney's also it's like 2 a.m. over by him, so I don't want to hold him any longer. So back to this with the kids. So they're able to save them through the gate where Chrissy died, but as they're being pulled up, Nancy actually gets pulled back down, and this is where we get the intertwine with 11. hearing Vecna's story and his creation, for where Nancy's actually walking through his memories too. She's first pulled into this would be her guilt with Barb, the death of her friend, and this is the pool that she got pulled into.
Hashtag justice for Barb.
Yep.
Just Barb. I'll also say that in terms of Nancy being pulled back down halfway through her escape, I did actually like the idea that she didn't even begin her climb in reality, but when she entered the nightmare, she thought she was climbing the bed sheets, and then she went through the portal and entered the dream world. Whereas, as far as from everyone else could tell, she just froze up before she even started. But that was sort of like how she entered the dream world in her mind.
I kind of think this was a strategic move on Vecna's part, like to take out one of their more deadlier characters, their more deadlier heroes, and just divide and conquer.
She's connected to the Upside Down because she's been to the Upside Down. Even though briefly, like Russ Fang has brought up in the season 1, she's one of the few other characters who have before this have been to the Upside Down. So yeah.
But also, go on.
No, go ahead.
So excuse me. But also he makes sure to grab at least one of them before they can all get through and close the portal, because then he at least has access to all of them. He can stop, because now they're not going to. He knows they're not going to abandon her. Like, could you imagine that? Steve's already on the other side. It's like, screw it, she's lost cause. Close the portal. It's like, he knows that's not going to happen. They're all going to.
She started dating this other dude. Who cares?
He knows, like Vecna knows that they're all going to like come back for her, or at the very least hang around. Which means that now he can still send his bats and everything over to them. Did Steve? No, Steve didn't accidentally step on a vine near the end of the episode, did he? I can't remember. Did they establish that the demo bats were on their way to their location?
No, not with this episode. No.
Okay, all right.
Just Nancy. Just about Nancy.
So Nancy is in Vecna's mind. She walks through the vision of the Creel house. This is where we get the final reveal that Henry Creel, the kid that supposedly survived his dad's mass murder of the family, is the person who actually murdered his mother and sister, and tried to with his father, but due to the limitations of his age, didn't know his limitations of his powers, passes out instead. So we learn that then Henry is actually taken by the doctor that he feared his parents were handing him over, which turned out to be Brenner. And Henry here is number 1, who turns out to be Peter, who turns out to be Vecna. And we get a close-up of Vecna's 1 tattoo on it.
Yeah. There you go.
How did you feel, Toonie? I knew you kind of knew it was coming, but how did you feel about, like, because you were the first time seeing this?
Yeah. I mean, I knew it was. I knew it was on the way. The thing is with, I feel like it actually kind of ruins a little bit of the Eldritch like element and the mystery to Vecna, and the reason why is because the way I originally saw the Dear Billy scene, like Max's escape, the way I originally saw it is that he's connected to the Upside Down. He's part of it. He's not a human from our world. He's like a some kind of god. He's some kind of godlike creature. Whereas now this makes him basically just a corrupted human with some superpowers. He's basically just overcharged L. And it kind of, when you look back at that Dear Billy scene and you see the kind of telekinetic powers he's using, you realize that it's basically just 11 but evil. And it kind of makes it. Do you know how? He's throwing like 1,000 objects at Max and just keeps missing. That doesn't make any sense anymore, because when you realize that he's just a person in the Upside Down using telekinesis, it's not like a mindscape where it's not like an actual mindscape where her will to survive is overcoming his it's not telekinesis, it's more like telepathy, if that makes any sense. Like it's his will to kill her versus her will to survive, and that's why he's missing. It's because it's part of her consciousness that's fighting back. That was my original interpretation of it, whereas now that it's actually a physical realm and he's using actual telekinesis to throw objects at her, it now doesn't make any sense that he's missing 1,000 objects. That's so I wasn't really I'm not gonna lie, I don't mean to like spoil the fun of it, but I wasn't a fan of the reveal ultimately.
It's okay.
I think the reason is because he doesn't really have a Well, the fact is that he needs 4 kills to fully
Hey,
open.
this spoiler.
4 kills, you say?
Spoiler!
Wait, that's a spoiler?
I think eventually his big next episode, his big like plan.
Okay, I don't have it in front of me, so I guess I need to shut my mouth.
It's okay.
So,
it's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
Jeez, I really do confuse all these episodes. Damn.
It's all right. They all blend kind of together.
So Max, well, if he'd gotten to Max, then Jock guy would have been his 4th kill. Well, that's no longer the case. So now Max or Nancy will be his 4th. Interesting. Okay. But yeah, in terms of generally, I thought it was there was a lot more you could work with when you didn't know anything about. You just thought he was a part of the Upside Down, like he was always there,
like a creature born there. In a sense, he was reborn there. Technically, but I get what you mean. He's not like some cosmic creature that just came out from the Upside Down and was created there. He's a human being first
that was banished there, and he's basically like all the tentacle stuff that you see around him. That's basically just not like that's just the result of what happened to him in the Upside Down. He went to the Upside Down as a human, and like he was sent there. Then he got hit by lightning, got Palpatined basically. And then
unlimited power.
Yeah, he got he got electrocuted by lightning and got heavily injured and maimed, and then eventually developed these abilities that it kind of looks like the stuff is seared into his skin rather than it just being what he is. So it kind of ruined a little bit of the mystery for me after this.
Okay, that's
yeah.
Rachel,
I did go on.
Go ahead.
I would want to say that I think you said that he was in the as a human as running through the portal. I remember specifically saying, rewatching the episode, I was like, oh, the portal was created through him. Like he's up against the wall and his middle belly button just starts to dissipate. And so then you're seeing him float through the Upside Down like this. I don't think I would attribute that to human, but they did. So it kind of is just like, now I'm thinking about it. I'm like, how does that work? You literally opened up a portal through him, and yet he went through the portal as a full person.
Yeah, that's a good point.
For a second, when I first saw that scene, when I first saw that scene, I was kind of under the impression that Elle somehow accidentally created the Upside Down. Like that was how it was made. That was my first thought.
Originally, that's if we were just to stick with season 1 outside of the other seasons, yes, she originally is the one that created the created the Upside Down, or at least the access to the Upside Down.
It was more the access to the Upside Down because she found the Demogorgon.
Yeah, remember the Demogorgon to me is like the flip of what her pain, her anger, it's her projecting. That's what the Demogorgon's supposed to represent, at least in season 1. Granted, they've retconned a lot of stuff.
This season made it a lot more confusing. I mean, I know there's extra lore that says, oh, well, this wasn't the first, like, interdimensional encounter. And I'm just like, okay, but it's not in the show.
Yeah, I don't take so much to with the lore. I just follow what the show, but I see what you mean, Toonie, by like it's not a cosmic creation. It's a little bit of a downfall because, in a sense, if he is human, then he's could easily be taken out too. It's not like this superior like Cthulhu type god they're going up against. But that is Massacre at Hawkins Lab. Rachel, final thoughts on the episode?
My boyfriend and I got stuck on the logic of the sheet towards the end. We didn't. We were like, how? He's like, how is it standing up? He's like, if you went through it, wouldn't you get cut in half? I was like, at this point, we're at the end. So I was like, I'll bring it up to the group. We'll see what they say. We say nothing. Just one of the
magic.
Most,
just tell them it's magic.
It's magic. It's magic. One of the most riveting episodes to set up for the upcoming episodes. And I think just rewatching it, feeling the heartbreak from Elle, feeling the betrayal that she had to go through, it just really just a wonderful episode, and I can see why it was just like the highest rated. So I don't know, just really good episode overall. So
Junie?
Yeah, I did enjoy the episode, like especially overall. Especially Eddie's scene with Steve pointing out how he's he likes to play a certain character in his fiction, in his he likes to project an outgoing character, but when it comes to like the actual violence in real life, he is just as scared as everyone else. He's not the person he projects himself as, and that's fine. Like it's not like he's trying to maintain a lie or anything. It's not like he's lying to people about himself. It's just that he's he's playing a character in a game. But it's a bit like the whole. Do you remember in the D&D game in episode 1? Where all the kids were saying like "fight to the death," and then they were almost dead. They were almost dying, and it was like, well, I wasn't actually being serious. Like,
yeah,
it's a bit like it's easy to talk a big game in D&D, but then when you're actually facing down an actual like demon from hell in real life, you're like, I don't know, I'd rather let someone else kill it. It's like, yeah, I do. It's because it is kind of hard to mentally convince yourself to swim underwater into a hell portal. For somebody you don't even, especially when you don't even know, because part of your brain would just sort of convince you that it's all going to be all right, or that the problem will solve itself somehow, or that you're just not qualified for the situation at all, so you're going to make things worse if you try and help out. It's I did enjoy that element of his character, and I'm looking forward to where that goes in a scene that I know exists in season 4 going forward. So we'll see what happens in the next 2 episodes. That's probably the thing that I'll probably talk about the most here in the sub-break. Yeah, I did enjoy this episode. I'm looking forward to what happens in the next 2.
Cool. Frostfang?
I mean, this episode was the most, I think, impactful one, just in terms of character dynamics. I mean, like, Vecna is probably, you really don't get a lot of characters that are well deserving of like what's the word, they aren't like Palpatine or Sauron or whatever, and this series earns it. And I really do think that the show has created, something much more personal than the Mind Flayer, because the Mind Flayer is basically just this giant entity that, is just hovering over everyone. Now you got a much more concrete character attached to it. So I'm really really interested in how they're going to handle season 5. I already know what happens in season 4, but I really want to hear whoever hasn't seen season 4 to experience this, because it's going to get very interesting. So, and I also want to thank Nads again for letting me be on the stream, because it is very fun to talk about my opinions, and
all good. We welcome all types of opinions here, good or bad, and toxics. Toxic, what's your final thoughts on the episode?
Not great. Great episode. Little plot heavy. I mean, it's. I heard a better YouTuber than me once say that when you have the episode before the penultimate episode, which is the episode before the finale, it has the unenviable task of, and I'm paraphrasing it, it has to put all the pieces into motion which isn't always the most fun kind of episodes to write or to play or direct, I'd imagine. But you have to get all your people where you need them to be in order to, kind of grease that downward slide towards the finale, whether it be a series finale or in this case, a season finale. So, some of them tend to be a little bit pedantic. They tend to be a little bit dry, and you're like, all right, I get it, yada yada yada. But I don't think that's the case with this one, and it has a couple quibble plot points, which I have pointed out in this one, but it's nothing that brought me out of the episode in any kind of way, and it doesn't make the season less for it. So I enjoyed it. It's definitely a good one. I don't think it should be as rated as high as it is. But I mean, that's me. That's a subjective personal opinion. That doesn't mean that it's true for everybody. So, but yeah, I liked it. I like what happens in it. So I'm excited for the next two.
My opinions is probably about on par with the same. There are some slow points through this episode, but I think it's still a banger of an episode. It really kept my attention. The cinematography in this, the certain shot angles and certain ways that they utilize the camera is just beautifully done. I can see where they put all their money into it. I liked when I initially first saw the first time learning about Vecna, it actually surprised me. I didn't put 2 and 2 together. I don't know why. Rewatching it, I'm like, there's context clues everywhere. Why haven't you figured this out, Nadia? But I never did. So I think I can see why this is the highest rated episode out of the series, even though I really love the finale of this season. The finale's great on this. And I'm very excited for you to see it, Toonie, in person, not in person, but live. So we're going to have a watch party for it, and we'll be able to see Toonie's reactions as it's going. So that'll be a lot of fun.
The thing is that people always love the plot twist. In this show, this episode is basically the plot twist. So
Yep, learning about our villain, and now it's time to go to war with him. So with that, I'm gonna let the panel kind of plug what they're doing. So Rachel, what do you got going next?
Next, I will be on Toxic Tuesday with Toxic, and then Friday back here.
Very cool. Toonie?
So we are right in the thick of it in terms of Spooktober. There have been a couple of uploads that I've missed, but absolutely they will be sorted out. We will have all the videos uploaded by the 31st. We've got daily horror game videos up until the 31st, and if there are any games that are just about unfinished, that I will be finishing them off past Spooktober. If not, maybe not immediately, but it will absolutely be going back to them. And once Spooktober's over, we're going back to the other unfinished games I have. Which, to be honest, that list is mounting up. But well, we'll sort it out. I'm still trying to get away with daily videos when I can. It's just a bit of effort having a job and all that. Just a bit of effort having a job. Yes, well. But they have been absolutely going very well recently. I've how many am I on now? I'm doing very, very well. I'm not too far off with 1,600 subscribers, so I do wonder whether or not. Thanks. Soon enough we'll be what's that thumping, by the way? Is Toxic? Is he having a fight?
He's probably working. It's probably working.
I'm typing. Oh, right. Sorry.
What are you doing to the keyboard? Are you hitting someone with it?
He's being toxic to the keyboard.
me push keyboard hard to make letters.
He's dropping his live for Tuesday, and yeah.
A keyboard warrior has a whole new meaning. There we go.
That's me.
Okay, right. Anyway, that's pretty much me done. Anyway, it's Toxic's turn now.
Actually,
I'll let Nadia tell me when it's my turn.
Do you have anything to plug? Anything you're working on? Anything?
Not really. I mean, like, I mod for channels. I am a creative person. I mean, I brought up Goji Center, and I brought up a lot of good ideas for them. I am a creative person at heart, but, the fact is that, YouTube is a very competitive place. So it's just like, I don't really know if my personality and I don't know, work ethic works with it. So I am trying to create stuff, but the problem is that I just don't think YouTube is the right space for me or environment for me, even across other similar platforms. So, it's not like I'm not creating stuff, but I just am a very private person.
Okay. Hey, that's okay. That's fine with us. I've had other people on the panels who don't have YouTube channels and stuff like that, but they just want to talk about the subject at hand. So you're all good. Toxic. I know you got Toxic Tuesday. What's going on?
Yeah, it'll be pretty similar to what we did on Toxic Thursday. Apparently, Lance is busy with his show, which, kudos. Check out the Outcast Creative channel. He's got his whole Seven Samurai, the making of the Seven Samurai play and stuff like that going on. Or Magnificent Seven and Seven Samurai, something like that. But it's in England, so there's nothing I can do about it. But I'm going to take his time slot and jump in there and do a Toxic Tuesday. We'll run down the week's current events and and entertainment, but we'll also do a little bit of fun trivia. It'll be a little different, but it'll be sort of similar to what we did last time. We'll talk about everybody's picks for what they've been watching in spooky season. We're going to talk about your favorite Halloween themed TV show episode, which they tend not to really do that much anymore, but they certainly did to great exposure in the 80s and 90s. And we may have to just talk about the downfall of Disney with the latest Tron fiasco. We'll probably at least give that a little bit of lip service, but it won't be anything we're talking about for hours on end. So, and I'm excited. We'll have Rachel on for the first time. So that'll be cool. And I got to have you on for the first time on Thursday. And thanks again for that. You were value added in that to teach all of us normie, just casual horror watchers, what real horror stuff is all about, all that cool niche stuff that you follow. So it was a lot of fun, and we'll probably try to make it like a weekly thing. I'll either do it on a Tuesday or a Thursday every week.
Very cool. As for this channel, we have scheduled next week, but I want to highlight two things. For Stranger Things, we will be back next Friday with episode 8. Following that, we will be off on the 24th, but the 26th, the Sunday, we'll be hosting a watch party of the season finale. Everybody will be on panel, and then what I'll do is I'll play the episode in Discord. I'll link it in the chat so everybody can watch along, but we will be watching it together, and then we will be discussing season 4's finale on Halloween, actually, which should be a lot of fun. And then the second biggest thing I want to talk about that's coming to this channel is next Saturday, I will be streaming for 8 hours. That's right, you heard, for 8 hours. I'll be doing a charity stream for a charity that is near dear to my heart. Hop in, you'll see the information on that. But I've got a ton of content creators and maybe some Hollywood creators as well coming in and out, hanging out with me. We'll be playing games, chatting about whatever. For 8 hours. We got to figure it out. 8 hours. We got to make it through. So 8 hours will be next week, Saturday. So this should be a good time. So thank you to my panel. Thank you to chat. You guys were awesome. And until next time, you all know what to do. Stay spooky. Bye, y'all.